This is Naoki Yoshida.
This is Fern Halls.
And you are listening to Aetheryte Radio.
Aetheryte Radio.
Here we go.
All right, hello and welcome to Aetheryte Radio, Gamerscape's Final Fantasy XIV podcast. I'm Fusion X, and joining me today, we've got everybody again. We've got Zen, we've got Aldino, and we've got Rook. Everybody's here.
Hello.
This is better than Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is actually going to be the new Smash Brothers Ultimate. They're going to replace everybody, and it's just going to be us. And probably we'll just talk a lot. Yeah, I guess we could fight. I think I could. Yeah, I could take Fusion.
Wow. All right. Damn. Shots fired, I guess.
I think I could.
Wow.
I'd be scared to face it. Yeah, who would win? Tell us who you think would win in a fight.
Yeah.
This is not the Twitch poll we need to start this episode. Who would win in a fight?
I mean, I was thinking Smash Brothers. I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be a real fight. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do a training montage.
Oh, then not at all.
Yeah, I'll pick out one of my amiibo and do a training montage with it, and then we'll
there you go.
Put it down.
I had a chance if it was like fisticuffs as soon as it's a fighting game. No.
I've always.
Oh, I also was thinking fisticuffs. Okay, and that
physical actual violence is what Brooke was thinking. No, we're not gonna do like Street Fight or something. I'm gonna punch that man in the face.
Blood for the blood lily. I was gonna say though that in either situation, I honestly think Aldi, I don't know. I feel like you're a sleeper agent. You're so like calm and collected, but I think that like were you to just go wild, like I would be afraid, in Smash Bros or in real life. I think that you would just like unleash great power.
I'm afraid remembering high school, you guys playing Smash Brothers. I didn't play then.
Yeah. I grew up on the streets of Smash Brothers with people who did not care if it was cheesy or hard to no, you better find a way to do it. So yeah, I've had some training, but the way that we played was usually if you won a round, you had to let's say get inebriated a little bit more than you
sure.
So eventually it was a great equalizer. Yeah, after high school. I'm sorry. That was mainly when I played.
Yeah, because nobody drank in high school.
No, absolutely not. No,
it doesn't happen anywhere.
But so that's how we equalized it. So the people who were good quickly got worse. So I was kind of mid-tier. I don't know where I was. In real life, I have no idea. It's been so long.
I always growing up, I always made the joke that I've watched so much Power Rangers, I can kick anyone's ass.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instructional.
There you go.
I wouldn't last 5 seconds. I don't know.
I've never actually been in a fight, so I have no idea. I've never tested myself.
Well, I guess first time for everything, Rook.
Yeah, this year let's all get into fights. Great start to the episode. All right,
it's gonna be great. Next time I go out to Chicago. Wow, it's so great to see you. It's been forever. Let's fight.
Take you out to some like fight club. Yeah. Like, we're totally gonna go see whatever the new superhero movie is. We just walk into like fight club.
There's just like this dark room.
We're the superhero movie now.
Yeah. But this is basically Street Fighter. You go to their place and then you fight them, right?
Yeah.
That's Street Fighter.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Gosh. Have you seen the new Mortal Kombat trailers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Johnny Cage. No. Oh my God.
I am excited.
It's gonna be great. Anyway, this is a Final Fantasy XIV podcast.
Speaking of things we can't wait for.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, the part 2 live letter for patch 7.
What day?
Thursday.
I really appreciate you saying it the same way.
If you don't roll the R, it doesn't count. It's just not. It's not a real day then. Patch 7.3 is dropping on August 5th.
Oh, such a surprise. We did not know that.
Who could have predicted the predictable thing? That's weird.
Yeah.
So as a recap here, we're going off of the wonderful recap over at novacrystallis.com. Make sure to go check them out, give them a follow.
Shout out.
Yeah. So new main scenario, which will be the finale for Dawn Trail. During that, we'll have the Meso Terminal dungeon, a question mark trial. We don't know who it is. It's totally not either Trans Calyx or Necron. No way.
Yeah.
No, totally not.
Watch it actually just not be either of those. Watch it be something totally left field, or like
it's gonna be Tataru's Carbuncle that got away.
Yeah.
Great.
Carbuncle's just gonna show up.
Kalos is like, I want us all to be immortal and fabulous, and then he's gonna like transform into Kuja from 9 and just like flip his hair. His like skirt thong will be like flowing in the breeze. It'll be really
That's
nice.
his vision for mankind.
I love that, honestly.
It's weird because that's also Rook's vision for mankind.
This would be my ideal win case scenario for mankind. Yes.
We're also gonna have the updates to Occult Crescent. So the exclusive instance with for pre-made parties of 24 players. They've said that for that, if you go in, the Auroral Mirage will occur within 5 minutes of entry. And then if missed that. So the minimum players then will be needed to enter Fork Tower is going to be from 16 to 24. So doing this, they also increase the limit, the minimum limit.
Mm-hmm. You can now go into that, like generate an instance with people, so you're not like having random people get sucked into it or stuff like that.
Yeah. It's for pre-made groups to do this, full pre-made groups. You'll be able to see everybody that's entered because of the cipher window and stuff like that. Yeah. The Auroral Weather will not initiate during active critical engagements. This is just for all the zones in general. That was an issue. And treasure coffers with the magic pots and the rabbits will now bestow silver pieces. Love that change.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, I told a member of our static who is gold coin like just savage right now, and he was like, "That's cool. Carrots sell for millions of gil."
Yeah. But also, like, what is there to use gil on? Right? Like, there's not a lot.
If you get into housing,
if you maybe find a plot, yeah.
In a patch, raiders will be
there's a lot of
gear.
Yeah,
you can build it up
there's
now.
A fuck ton of
carrots will jump up for 3 days, and then 5,000 will be on the board, and then they'll drop back down to 500k or whatever. It'll life will find a way.
That's true.
Let's look. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I'm using a thing that doesn't exist. Don't worry about it.
No way.
Oh yeah, who
no.
knows? I mean, it is an interesting point, but I at least
2 million gil, cheapest one.
2 million. Wow. I mean, that is expensive. I honestly, in the amount of time that we ran Occult Crescent, I did not personally have a bunny. I never got a bunny or a carrot or anything.
I didn't either.
No. So like it's pretty rare, I guess.
Yeah. It was funny. The one time I did see the carrot on the map, it was like on that roof area outside of Mock, and I died.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hi, Dr. Griswold, dear friend that's looking for a carrot. I found the carrot, and also I need a raise."
Would you say that you were holding a carrot on a stick for the raise?
Okay.
Holding a carrot on a roof?
Yeah.
Some people they fiddle on a roof. I hold carrots.
Carrots? Yeah. I had 3 or 4 carrots, but I have unreasonably good luck in this video game usually.
I like the way that you could spin that, whereas he's just like, yeah, well, I'm filthy rich, so I don't understand what the rest of you
just give me the things that I need. So I don't know what you're having the problem
in
with.
The zone. I wanted the stuff.
Well, I mean, and that's
a carrot.
That's how it
cost.
Was, right? You would go in and like.
Thank you. I was thinking that.
Somebody.
How much could it cost in gil, Michael? What, like 2 million? That's nothing.
But that's how the RNG was, right? You'd go in with a group of friends. Yeah. Somebody's getting all the stuff out of chests. Yeah. Somebody's getting all the Atma, like, and then there's the one person that's like, I hate everything. I'm not like, I've got 27 of the same one Atma. No progress is happening here.
I'm really sorry.
How could you personally do this, Zenidra?
Yeah. The ultimate betrayal.
I could give them away. I would.
Also with 7.3, we are going to be getting the Echoes of Vanadil tier 2 raid, Sandorian the Second Walk. We'll get into details in that a little bit more. We'll get the new Crystalline Conflict PvP arena, Bayside Battleground. We will get the new Treasure Vault, Dungeon Vaults, Oneiron. I want to keep saying One Iron. It's like right there.
Oneir.
It seems like something Loke would do. Oneiron. The new.
It's like you gotta remember that it's like near Tiamat. It's Oneiron.
Ooh, Oneiron.
Oneir means dreams.
Okay.
And
He's like,
because I've made this mistake twice on various content for our podcast.
Damn.
It is not the one that is on the first.
Oh,
Yes.
This one is all about Solution 9. So,
name makes sense? Question mark.
the
think
one that
it's
has
because they-
the number name in it is in Solution 9.
yes, I guess that makes sense. 1, 9. Okay, all right. I guess
Mm.
what keeps tripping me up is that in my brain I was like, dreams, the fairies, and I just like
Yeah. Totally,
immediately was connecting those two, but it's
Yeah.
not. That's the deep dungeon.
Wrong
Yeah.
one.
Show.
New Unreal for Seiryu will be added. Cutter's Cry will be added to duty support. So if you want to go win one more time before the patch drops and remember it how it used to be, now's the time to do it. Who knows what they'll change. Chat bubbles
Everything.
will be
I
added.
did freaking Halatali the other day. Sorry to interrupt. I did Halatali the other day after it's been updated. I'm like, what is this trash?
I will say that Cutter's Cry is one of the ones that I think could probably stand a touch up. Even if it's just to like make it
so people don't skip that part.
Yeah, because as it is, let's be real, as it is right now, the fact that you can like there's so many zone transitions in that one,
Sure.
and you can skip them. Like it's not something where you have to clear all the trash before it allows you to teleport or anything like that. So I feel like at this point, as veteran players or new players, anytime you go into that dungeon, it's like everybody just leaves you. It's like they're just gone. And if you're the
Where are
one
they?
person
Yeah.
that managed to get aggro, like you just have to die and to keep trying to come back and run through them. So
Yeah.
I won't hate to see some of Cutter's Cry adjusted perhaps, but I am intrigued by what they might do to change it because I wonder if they will. I hope they don't mitigate the difficulty of that final boss too much. Just
Right.
because I think it's a good teaching experience
Yeah.
for other enemies of that type that come up later throughout the game.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
for me,
the zone
it's
itself.
it's it's one of the last 1.0 dungeons, right? Like it's like there's
Yeah, that
there's
is true.
Zaymail, there was what was the other one that they absolutely just gutted and killed the identity for? There was that one.
Totorock.
Yeah. Pour one out for Totorock. Yeah, I don't it is what it is. Chat bubbles, Hrothgar and Vera will receive quote expanded headgear support. Okay.
Yay!
And Viera will have
Finally.
the option to hide their ears, and bangs will display while wearing hood type gear. I am so
Yay!
curious how
Oh, good.
many pieces of headgear will be supported with this patch.
Yeah, because
Like-
previous live letter they said everything but full face helmets. So I'm hoping most things other than full face helmets. They didn't say everything, because yeah, that makes sense. Hrothgar have kind of a muzzle going
Yeah.
on. So I don't know.
We'll
I
see.
mean, maybe we can finally stop talking about it. We can finally stop. We can finally stop being like, oh man, there's no hats. There'll be hats for
Been
everyone.
72 years.
Everyone.
I think a lot of us are just kind of waiting to see what exactly, because yes, theoretically, if they do that, if they do what they've said they're going to do, great. Does that include the brand new stuff that they released in
Yeah.
Cash Shop or otherwise that isn't hat compatible? Or is it just going to be like all the other stuff now is updated and now we're entering a new era of backlogging a bunch of other stuff that's going to have to be updated?
Era.
New ear. Yeah, thank you. That was good,
Yes.
Sarah. But
I mean, that's the question,
we'll
because
see.
clearly there is a desync between like the dev team and the online store team. Because that last live letter, she was like, "We're
A little
fixing
bit.
everything," and then like the next week, they're like, here's one of the most expensive glams we've ever put
Yeah.
on. Also, no hats. Oops. Like,
What is up with them releasing gear sets on the MOG station that are just like slightly recolored versions of gear you can get for free in game, and that also have pieces of other paid sets in them? This
It is
most
a
recent one
mess.
they released is baffling to me.
Yeah.
And I hate it because like players might get tricked into buying it thinking that it's not something they can get in game, and it's literally just something you can get in game for free. Like, what a waste
What
of
is the
money.
latest piece?
that's Alice from Stormblood.
Yeah.
But it's like literally just one of the, it's like they didn't have her in a custom outfit for Stormblood.
Nope.
They just had her in like literal gear you can just buy in the game.
Yeah.
And that I think the boots are from like, is it the angelic demonic set? Or it's something like that.
Yeah, yeah, like obviously it's class restricted, but like you can make that costume in game. Like anytime that like an online store costume comes out and the first thing you see people talking about is here's how to make it for free. Maybe you messed up. Maybe that shouldn't be a thing you let people spend money on.
I see in chat there are some mentions that like the sleeves on the top are a little bit different,
Yeah,
which is
they're a little
fair.
different,
But I just personally still have qualms with it. I still think
that's not
that,
enough.
Yeah, I find it still kind of like like I don't know. It's just weird to me. But
I think is a good descriptor.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Full stop. Done. Moving on.
But regardless, that's a tangent. So if we go back to the fact that I'm very, very happy that Hrothgar and Vieira are going to have this expanded support. It was overdue. I also hope we never have to talk about it. And I hope that it does affect things like from here on out or moving forward, or that it's some sort of larger fix. And maybe they'll find some kind of way to do the full head armor stuff at some point. I don't know exactly how they would do that, but especially for Vieira, it would be really cool because they're a little more humanoid. And for Hrothgar, I feel like there's some way to try to, I don't know how, but I feel like there's maybe some way that you could try to do something for them. But we'll see. I really am fingers crossed that it covers more than we expect. So
Like their heads.
And then also with 7.3, PvP Series 8 will now end, and PvP Series 9 will begin. New rewards, and then the Ultima and Omega tiers will be added as well. So that's 7.3. All right, that's August 5th.
I know PvP is also, I think it's coming with this next patch, right? That you can now duo queue. So it's not in there summary.
Yeah.
You'll be able to duo queue.
Solid change.
which is great.
Patch 7.31, which will be a month after, so this will be sometime in September. We will get Faina for Cosmic Exploration. That'll be a new zone for that. It's got robot dommels. That's neat. Also, Phantom Weapon upgrades will be added with some new quests. So that's for that. 7.35, which will be probably October. Deep Dungeon Pilgrim's Traverse will be added. This is the dreamy one. This is the pixie the face stuff.
Yes,
This
there
is
it
the
is.
one on the first. Allied Society quests featuring the Yakoi will be added for crafting based jobs, and then more Hildebrand. So that is that. At some point after patch 7.3, right? So this is 7.4, 7.5, who knows, right? Yoshida confirmed they are still working on variant and criterion dungeons. They haven't said a single word since they announced it at FanFest.
Yeah.
They're saying that probably 7.4 for that. And it will apply new principles that Yoshida described during the Deep Dungeon segment of the broadcast. So maybe more scaling.
Yeah, let's hope.
I hope this game has needed better scalable content. The fact that Unreal trials exist the way they do is like a highlight of like, we can't scale stuff good right now. Like, I hope they figure that out. The limit on.
Yeah. Okay.
The limit on the maximum amount of items placed indoors for housing will be increased. At some point, the team was, quote, almost done with the update, but it wasn't going to make it for 7.3. So it got delayed after they told us to look forward to more housing info. They're like, actually, we don't have it.
Your slightly rabid face there, Zadidra, was very delightful. For anybody who's just listening, Zen immediately had a slight rage fit, an excitement fit, but also kind of ragey, a mix.
Yeah.
So
All of the above, yeah.
It's interesting though, because I think this is one of the surprises of the live letter, because they had said, as far as we can remember in part 1, that they were going to talk more about the housing stuff. Maybe they just meant that they were going to tell us that they couldn't do it for 7.3. I don't know. Maybe as well it had something to do with some of the housing pressure that's in this space right now, given that WoW has been releasing more and more information about this like unbelievable, ungodly housing system that they're designing for the game.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking to maybe they were like, oh, we could just increase the cap, or maybe we need to do something more. I don't know, but hopefully we do get some more housing news. And I am very I'm over here going, okay, Final Fantasy, what are you gonna do when this comes out? And WoW, is this gonna push you to try to more aggressively figure out how you can handle your housing systems? And I hope it does.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Yep.
Tid?
Did? I am so happy that they're working on Variant Dungeon. Anybody that's listened to me on this podcast knows that Variant Dungeon is some of the new content that's been released in recent years that I genuinely love. I want everybody else to fall in love with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the race for that entails. And I really I've been over here doing the slightly excitement rabid face for Variant Dungeon news. And every time they don't talk about it, I'm like, please.
We like Riddle Fight. We like Riddle Fight.
We like it.
Put it in a roulette. Don't bury it in a weird menu.
Yeah.
All right. So the first big chunk, obviously, MSQ. We don't know anything about the MSQ. Things will happen. Things will conclude.
Things will happen.
We fight. We go into dungeon. We do a trial.
We done do story things, push buttons, fight thing.
Probably finds her place amongst her people.
Yeah, maybe puts that crown on.
Totally does not put that damn crown on her head.
Or she doesn't, that would be a real twist.
Yeah, that would
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
It feels like this is going to be the culmination of Dawn Trail's story. We know that.
Yeah.
And when we were even doing our live reacts, which patrons got access to early on Patreon, we talked about it a little bit, right? The fact that this is sort of an interesting one because I don't really know what expectations I have for this finale. Right now, I'm kind of just going, I hope it's cool and it gets me excited for whatever setup there is for things to come. But it could very well be that this ends up blowing us out of the water, or that it reveals something that's like a really cool, tidbit, or
and then we have to wait for a year.
Oh God, please.
I hope that instead of be like, okay, Dawn Trail conclude, I need there to be like that Marvel post-credit scene where there's just enough to be like, this is where we are going. Like, if they don't have that, I'm gonna just be like, okay, all right, well.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Yeah.
With the patch trailer, obviously we got to look at some of the MSQ stuff. We also got to look at the second tier for the Final Fantasy XI raid, Sandoria, the second walk. I have feelings.
Yeah.
So obviously, and we've talked about this a little before. So I'll try not to recap too much, right? But it's like, okay, well, it's based on Sandoria, which is one of the 3 starting cities. What about the other 2? You're excluding a third of the people that this is aimed at for nostalgia purposes. Oops. So that's rough. You get in, when they announced this, everyone's like, oh, the bagpipe music. Not in the raid. It starts with the Ronfar music. So like that, you're in this little courtyard, you jump over to like this little snippet of Ronfar, which I guess looks like Ronfar. It's hard to be like, yes, that's Ronfar. It's a forest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see like remnants of King Ronpar's tomb anywhere in the distance. It's just a forest. All right.
All we really have is orcs, goblins, and jagged-eared Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a rabbit that will just is part of trash mobs and won't kick your ass, but that's okay. We got orcs. That's cool to see. I didn't know if we'd get beastmen at all, so I'm glad we got to see some orcs. And then they approached a burning circle. So for those that didn't spend way more time in 11, a burning circle is basically like a trial. Like, you go to this area, you have a item that you have earned, and you use that to basically enter this fight. And so there's a burning circle in Ronfire. You go in, and it's Kieran from Sky. Sky being those floating ruins that we were in the first tier of the raid. So that's not where he should be. That's kind of weird. We also saw
teleportation accident, right? Like
I guess he summons like 2 giant arms and is swinging them around. It looks like
earth attacks and
that's, I don't remember the big arms from 11, but okay.
Some cool effects for sure though.
Yeah, he does pull up Siryu in the footage we saw, so presumably Genbu, Suzaku, and Bayako will be there too.
They're the 11 models, not the 14 ones.
They are the 11 models. That is appreciated. So there's that. We also saw clips of the airship fight from COP with both Ultima and Omega.
That's one thing that I remember, finally.
We saw Eldernarsh and we saw Kamlanat. I don't know what the order of these are. I figure since we see it looked like Kamlanat in a cutscene earlier, my guess is he's the final boss, which then means that like airship is just in the middle. Like the order of this is beyond wrong. Like we should have had Kieran in the last one, Archangel at the beginning of the, like it's just anyway. So that's that. The rewards.
So the mage guy definitely fell like a far distance. Is probably a little bit brain scrambled, and so he's just messing up the continuity of 11.
I think I went like this.
Yeah, this is totally how it went, right? Like this is kind of what happened.
Happened to us.
It brings up a good
That's
question.
true. Leviathan has 2 heads.
I mean, exactly, right? It's not as though they haven't done this, and they did try to preface this raid with that understanding of framework, right? That like, you know, this isn't supposed to be direct. This is supposed to be kind of like a reinterpretation or mashup in many ways. And I think it, though, kind of brings up a question or a good point for them to consider, as well as the community. But, you know, I think it's how literal do you expect the references to be? You know, 9 was used as an inspiration point for this expansion, but it is nowhere, anywhere, even vaguely, even slightly at all, you know, like actually 9. No. And I think that perhaps some of it is an adjustment of expectations from players, right? Where stuff that's going to be inspired by, we can never expect that they are going to exactly literally do it, just like you can never expect that a film adaptation of a book is going to be exactly what it is, right? But I mean, I think it's also fair for players to have especially strong feelings of nostalgia or want to see things represented in a good way. So I think that there's definitely a balance to be struck there. For somebody who never played 11, I just think it's cool seeing everything. The one of the soundtracks that I heard ever first in 11 before anything else was the Ron Farr music. And I liked it so much, I went and I looked for the rest of the OST. So I think that they, you know, have kind of picked and chosen things and little things that maybe stood out to players from the past, as well as trying to, you know, kind of mash things together to give us a little bit of a taste of different things from 11. But it definitely, I think, pretty early on departed strongly from like the actual logic or structure of 11, the actual history of it.
Yeah. Like I've been talking to a lot of people that I used to do the R11 podcast with, and we're all, I'm glad that we're all so synced. We're kind of like, we don't know who this is for. Because like there are some fun Easter eggs in it, right? I'm not going to say that everything sucks and everything's terrible. There are some fun Easter eggs in it. But when you have like, you know, there's so many like little inaccuracies here and there with things, and you're just like, did they not know? Did they not care? Was it cost? Like what? I don't know. Like if maybe the 3rd tier arrives and some story beat drops and it's just like, but like up at, you know, for everything that's come out so far, I just have to remind myself, okay, well, this isn't the Vanna deal we know from 11. These are like failed versions that are basically like the Void from Loki, right? Things that got thrown into that. So like that, okay, I guess. But if you're trying to hit me with nostalgia, being like, yeah, let's go fight sky gods in a burning circle, I'm like, that was never a thing. Okay.
So I don't it makes me a little sad that this is the case because like you love 11, you love 11,
Yes.
and so I would have loved for this to touch your brain in the
This was going to be like the thing that kept me happy for Dawn Trail. This and Field Ops.
Yes. So it's very strange to me that as the person who played 11, not quite as long as you, but for a really freaking long time, and came to hate the game, I really like this. I like this 24.
Everybody's gonna be different, right? I mean, and you know, it was so like
weird.
when we did our reaction to the last live letter, and they showed that slide of Sandoria. Like you and Charles, like, oh, Sandoria. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what that is. There's still people discussing on the forums that picture of like, is that Dulkvoot's tower or is that Fei Yin? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah,
I think
you
it's
know,
Dulkvoot's.
Everybody's got a different lens that they're seeing this through.
Yeah.
I really wish that we were privy to the Japanese player base's responses to it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have like I really don't know. I actually have no idea how the 11 nostalgia does or doesn't affect the 14 player base.
Yeah.
I would assume there's a strong presence of 11 players.
Yeah.
But I
the 11 nostalgia is bigger in Japan than it is here. I actually, if anybody is still playing 11 or is interested in 11, I actually had an interview with Yoji Fujito that went up a couple weeks ago, talking about things like the anniversary event. You know, there was some talk about how there was internal discussion about shutting the game down if population declined after Voracious Resurgence launched. So I asked him about like preservation. Some really interesting answers. They're actually working on modernizing all of the assets in the library for 11 right now in case there's a future project that wants to recreate 11. Yes, please. So yeah, some really interesting stuff. Go check that out. But I was going somewhere with this. I lost it. I lost the thread. But yeah, everybody's going to see things differently. Everybody remembers things differently. And even before this launched, right, we had these giant, I was making like maps and stuff, and I'm like, but also there is no way they're going to make everybody happy. I was just hoping that I would be in the happy category for this.
Yeah. You're like, just me though, please.
Yeah.
Like that.
So the rewards, they showed us the armor sets for this. And it is more like NPC armor. So
sorry.
You are Zen is so freaking happy about this. So basically the last tier was Archangel gear, right? I've been, after that I was like, okay, fine. I'd rather get gear that I could earn in 11, gear that I did earn in 11, right? As a thing for this. It's just more NPC gear. It's more like, play dress up. So this time around there's gear for Shantoto, Lilliset. So that's like basically Dancer AF from 11. That's why Zen is so happy. Zeed's,
and it's pretty. It's just really nice, and that's freaking gear that aiming people never ever get is stuff that looks like it belongs on a Dancer, and this is it. This is for us. Don't you dare give it to striking. I will go to Japan.
Zeed's armor is in there,
and scouting,
and Prish. So yeah,
maybe Zed is the one that would win in a fight. I was over here like Aldino would be the like underlying like
I think Zed's got agility on her side. Yeah, she's a little smaller. She's more aerodynamic. I think she could I
think so. Yeah.
So yeah,
like a squirrel.
So the Dancer thing, I'm glad you brought that up because I was excited when I saw that. I'm like, cool, because I'm right now, Raffle Durg aside, I have been maining Dancer in 11 for years, right? Ever since Wings of the Goddess dropped. So when I saw the Dancer AF, I'm like, hell yeah. But like the giant, like all caps, but because this is like dress up versions, it's of these characters, the male version of that AF isn't available. It's just the female version.
But how different was the male?
I mean, you don't have the belly showing. Like it's actually like more of like a shirt. Okay. Like it is different.
Well, I'm gonna be honest here. I think they made the right call. I'm gonna be honest and controversial and brave. Because one of my big complaints in this game is when they gender separate gear
Sure.
to the point that women are in a mini skirt and a crop top.
Sure.
And the like masculine or male side of it is like, and here you are in your armor that you have. Like, just like, it
Now that you've
infuriates
come
me.
forward, yes. Now that you've
Yeah.
come forward in your ultimate bravery, I'm gonna come
you.
along behind you and go
double down.
"Me
Yeah.
too."
No, and
Yeah.
I get that, and I don't disagree. But I think this set in particular is a little unique because this NPC's gear is just the dancer AF. It's not special, like she's got like a ribbon or something that's unique, but it is just straight up the job AF, right?
Yes.
And so to
And I
not
still
then
think
have
they
that
picked.
version.
No, I think they did I think they made the right choice. I think crop tops for everyone. It's summer, Fusion. I
You
think
know what I would
and
not
that
like for
whole-
everyone though? Why,
that?
casters? Why? Why do you always do this to us? Like, okay, Shantoto's gear
A robe.
Yeah.
is okay.
It's
But
not.
it's nothing
Let's
to
be
write home
honest.
for.
It sucks.
It's nothing to write home about. It
Shantoto's gear is super basic baby gear. Sorry.
And that's
It-
the
yeah, no,
closest
it just
thing
sucks.
we've gotten to the gear that I actually want from this
Yeah.
raid.
See,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so. Please, Aldino, you know what? Finish your thought, and then I'll come.
Oh, no. it just lacks some of the grandeur of what I would
Yes.
imagine. When you look at the other sets, you're like, yeah. And you look at this and you're like, okay, so I'm some jobber for the grand companies, basically. You know what I mean? It just does not, it feels mid-tier instead of
Sure.
higher tier. Like, that's AF. You gave AF and then you give random gear. It's an NPC's gear, but that's not AF for anybody.
No.
when we were first talking about what we wanted to see, Rook and I were saying we wanted dancer gear. I was saying
Yeah.
I wanted Corsair, and we were talking about, I think Fusion, you actually brought this up in Discord chat the other day, abjuration gear.
Yeah.
Yes.
The mage version of it with all the tattoos on the arms and stuff. That would
Yep.
have been a good piece.
Would have
for
been awesome.
casters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
been
yeah.
great.
Like give us something like that. I don't hate the Shantoto set. I think because they put a few nice little details on it in like
Yeah,
the sort of
gloves were good.
upscaled version. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe yes, we could have gotten something with more impact, but it is interesting because when I was looking through gear sets, I'm so sorry to all of our 11 fam, please forgive me. I want more just like generic fantasy
Sure.
NPC gear in the game.
Yes.
But I do think that like they could have just included that as like some additional gear sets for nostalgia, right? Like where if you
Increased
run
rewards.
yeah, like if you run, you either get a coffer that has some of those, or like you can choose
Yeah.
to trade in those tokens if you're not going to be like an end game person that's like trying to use that
Yeah.
for upgrade mats. Like maybe they would just have some of the old generic kind of gear that you could also then pick up, which I think would have been a really nice touch. I don't know if I would have want that to drop from the raid because I feel
Yeah.
like I would have felt the exact same way that you were just describing, Aldino, where it's like, cool, well, I don't want to be Cloth Merchant 51, like
Yeah.
from the gear that I'm having to like get once a week drops on for
Yep.
or something. And so I was glad because some of the gear that has stood out to me the most when I look back on old 11 sets is a lot of the NPC stuff where they got like more ornamentation, or especially as the game went on, some more elaborate outfits. So I personally was really excited to see that they had chosen some of those for this raid because I felt like, that's cool and I like it, but it still has the aesthetic of 11, but it has some cool details. Whereas if it had just been like, here you are in your tunic, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
How would you feel? How would you feel next time if we get Rabon from Ottergon's Blue Mage gear for caster? That'd be
I
good,
mean,
right?
That'd be great,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they can do that because Blue Mage exists, right?
So does Dancer.
I know, but Blue Mage is a special child.
Yeah, but it's what Rabon's
But well,
wearing.
here's the thing. So we know what the sets are for this raid, right? We know at this point we can guess, they're gonna do more of this for the third tier. So we have Arcelia from Seekers of Adeline. Her gear will pop up. I would assume Lion's gear would pop up. We haven't seen Lions yet.
I kind of hope not.
No? You don't want guys walking around in a miniskirt? No?
I mean,
I
that
just
sounds
like
good to
we
me.
basically already have her outfit. Is all.
So then
Maybe
maybe they'll put it on the Mog
version.
Station then and sell it for $20.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Probably Tenzin's armor. Tenzin's armor has been in the game for expansions now. That's just Samurai AF from 11, but then you have Samurai AF for tanks and dragoons. Okay. Dude, that's part of the issue, right? Doing this. Now you have Dancer AF for like machinists and probably like ninja. It's just like ninja's actually
It's
probably
not that
closer to home.
different from the stuff we got out of Evilise, though. Like those
Yeah.
were things assigned to certain jobs that still
Mhm.
scaled across other jobs.
Yeah.
It's true.
I guess
Yeah,
it'll
and-
depend on what your connection is to 11 and that gear specifically, right?
Yeah,
When
I
will we
think
get dieable Evilise gear? Square
Yeah.
Enix.
never. See, I think that one of the problems that I have with this in general is that, like, you look at Shantoto's gear, and it's kind of the jobber mage gear.
Yeah.
But mages and everybody else too have so many distinct styles. We talk about this for dancer versus machinist versus right. But for mage, they just default to black mage, right? Like in general.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But when you think about it and you think about that blue mage gear, that would be awesome. They're not going to pick it. It just doesn't fit. Like for some reason, like they'll do it for dancer and other things, but they won't do it for red mage. Like red mage complains about this all the time. Look at that gear and tell me that's a red mage, right?
I feel like it's
So it's
because
like-
they don't want to
yeah.
try to give other classes in the same category the distinctive style of red mage. But
Mhm.
then you are forcing red mage into the style of things that red mage is in. So
Yeah.
it's like it's not a
You'll
win-win.
never get summoner
this
gear
kind
because
of-
it has a horn.
This kind of
Yeah.
makes me think a little bit. I mean, we've asked Yoshida several times now about unlocking job glamours and stuff like that. And he's always like, no, like tanks have to wear armor, mages have to have robes. And it's just like, bro, like everybody can dress up
But
as
they
a
don't.
fucking Kappa. Like who cares anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Like I could go into an alliance. It could all be people dressed as pigs. I don't know what their job is.
That's true.
But wait,
Yeah,
I do know what their job is because they've added things that show job icons next to everybody. It doesn't matter anymore.
I've seen some feedback and discussion because when they added when they showed us, right, the new PvP gear sets and stuff like that, there have been a lot of people in the community that have been echoing some of the sentiment that we've even been sharing, which is, can we have less just kind of modern stuff or techie stuff or cyberpunk stuff? And can we have more stuff that's fantasy? And then in this discussion, as I've been, reading across different forums and social media platforms, somebody was like, well, what do you think you get for everything when you are a caster? Like you're getting fantasy. Why are you complaining? Like you have robes. What more could you want? And it's like anything at all.
Literally.
Again, casters don't have to just be in robes.
Yeah.
We've seen casters in this series that are in any number of things. We've seen healers that are in any number of things. We've seen spell users in any number of things in the series. And it's Final Fantasy. If they want to stick somebody in, like, I don't know, fantasy drapes hanging off of all of their body, giant sleeves, like whatever stuff they want to put on them, they do it, and they can. And like
judges cast magic. That they do. I'm just saying, full armor casting magic. Just saying.
And it's not like this
done.
is some crazy like PvP game where like people need to be able to recognize silhouettes or something like that. It's just, it's silly at this point, like clinging on to that, like robes and armor, and just swap it up. Give all the mages armor, give the tanks a cloth robe, give them a loincloth. That's it.
I honestly, I think it would do nothing but serve them, because by limiting themselves to the exact same silhouette in a game that is going on 10 plus years old, it gets old. Like it just gets old. Even if sets have different details, when you see that same silhouette, your brain is like, okay, this is the same thing I've gotten 5 times over. Even a
Make
slight
it a money sink. Make it something where you need like a special kind of prism to move it over onto a different job or something.
Yeah,
you
do
need money
something.
sinks.
Make that a thing. I mean, for that reason alone, I'm grateful for these new 11 gear sets because they are fantasy and they, I think, are fun. Can they, yes, shake up some of what they're doing? Or, I mean, not always pick something that feels like, okay, well, we have stuff like this in abundance in the game. Maybe we could have chosen something different from 11 that would have a different caster or healer look or stuff like that, because it's there. But I'm glad at least that we have that fantasy gear coming, because it's probably some of the gear that I'm more excited about.
I would have to find it again. There was someone on Reddit, and I can't give credit where it's due because I don't remember, and I was looking for it, who went through and tried to enumerate all the gear that we got in Dawn Trail and put it into the categories of, like, streetwear, fantasy, Terali, that sort of thing. And Streetwear was not far and away the winner with the way that they're counting, and there was issues with the counting, so whatever, but someone did the work, even if it was flawed. And so it was about 5% more. The pie was like 15 or so or 10% Terali looking stuff, 20-ish% fantasy looking, and 23 to 25% of this kind of cyberpunk streetwear. So it's like, yeah, there's been more of it. There has been more.
Yeah.
We're not wrong. It hasn't been far and away more, but they've abandoned the Terali look, but we're getting that in Dungeon, right? Like, we're going to get some of that now. So maybe they're going to rebalance it.
Well, and I think,
I don't know,
too, that data would be a little skewed because remember how early that Solution 9 and PC gear dropped?
Yes.
What happened in the content pipeline with that? That's so bizarre that, like, we're at a point where it feels like they're struggling to keep up. But that sucker dropped like what, 8 months ahead of the expansion or something? Like,
it does make me think, because, you know, we're thinking about the MSQ and where we could go, that at the midpoint kind of the patch cycle, when you want to think about it, because the climax of Dawn Trail, maybe we go back to more Terali looks because we're going to be done with Solution 9 for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
blows
they'll
up.
balance it on the back end. Who knows? Yeah,
maybe they just eliminate the endgame hub. Just gone.
You know, maybe they just go home.
There's
right?
a, like, a fruit stand in a desert when you teleport out there now.
To their
this
home,
was cool.
but
We're
nothing.
leaving now. Bye.
Yeah. It feels like a missed opportunity. I think as well, some of the sets we've gotten have been really beautiful with the inspiration from the sort of Latin America general umbrella that we might want to put things under, South America. But it's another moment where I'm like, you could have pushed this fantasy even further with this concept, with this idea. We've seen some really amazing creators even just creating animated films or animated shows, right? That draw from different inspiration from these regions. And that are, you know, either made by people from those regions or people who've done a lot of research into culture in those regions. And seeing how they even do some of that, it's so cool. Like, they could have picked so many different countries and done so. We could have had something like a flamenco dress. We could have had something even inspired like Dia de los Muertos. Like, when I think about some of the films I've seen recently that have done that and then created these kind of fantasy versions of characters and stuff like that, using the color palettes or the styles. Like, there's so much stuff they could have done. And it feels like they kind of were just like, I don't know, feathers and colors, and they did some textile stuff that was very nice. But again, in any regard, I think they could have pushed those designs a bit more this expansion, because it does feel like some of the stuff we've gotten has been a little repetitive. And then, of course, this dungeon gear that we're mentioning, there was a bit of controversy in the community. I guess we'll talk about it a little more, but a little bit of controversy in the community because while it does release more Turali inspired sets, it also is being released with sets that are like Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Or like kind of one that you can say Spanish conquistadors. You can sometimes you can kind of stretch it and be like musketeers, but like, it definitely brings to mind the one thing they seemed to be very conscious about avoiding the entire rest of the expansion in their cultural sensitivity work, which is colonialism and the effects of it. So it was kind of surprising to see this like rear up in a dungeon where they're like, what do you think about when you think about Latin America? Oh yeah, how they got invaded.
My best guess, because this is what we heard before the expansion drop, right? They're like, you know, we know that there were some questionable things in Endwalker. We've got some people we're talking to, we're gonna do better. But then the expansion came out and they're like, okay, well, we got that done and you're good, you can go. And then this dropped. Oops. It is what it is. I don't think they're going to change it. I'd be surprised if they did. There was also that online store garb that they dropped years ago. I can't remember, but they had like an organization of people that are like, please remove this from your game, and they didn't. So yeah, that's unfortunate.
I suppose let me edit myself for a second here. I suppose something that would be more apt would be to say like a tango dress or something like that, because technically flamenco is from Spain. So like, let me correct myself on that. Although the dance, you know, form has spread and there are variations that are kind of similar from various countries with the footwork or rhythmic kind of work. Sorry, I just wanted to correct myself on that because I think that was important. But I think there's more they could have done. And it also feels weird to be getting. I think This is such. I'm sorry, we went on a big old tangent, everybody. But if you've been listening for a while, this should
no,
this is not.
we never.
I think this is partially where the division of focus in this expansion also kind of shows. By deciding to put these two very disparate things in one expansion, it's kind of surprising how even to things like the gear or the style of stuff that we might get can be affected by that. Because as we go into yet another Solution 9 dungeon, the fact that then you would get traditional gear from the part of the expansion that we left in the core part that like we've just have not gone back to. It doesn't feel like
it matches, because we had we went into correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the last one in the MSQ like Meso Terminal? Is that the same one we went into at the end?
In MSQ, yes, but this is.
But it's we're running a different simulation, right? So the fact that like
at this point that culture is part of Solution 9's history, though. But like they did welcome those people in. Is part of their.
It's true,
but I don't think what we're gonna see is.
Well, what we're going to see is probably memories of the people who live there, right? And the people who live there did have memories from.
I don't think it's going to be that recent. I think it's going to be more Alexandrian backstory.
I mean, I guess
before they came over.
It could also be
I could
that.
Be wrong.
I mean, there's a good chance that Mr. Lizardman is going to be a big part of this.
For sure.
It's going to bounce through eras probably.
Yeah, I'll be curious, but I think, if we had still been able to explore additional things within Tural, that would have been really cool. If there had been other greater mysteries or things set there, then having those themed dungeons, having those sets, I think it could have been very cool. This is still going to be cool, and I still am glad to see some other gear that is of a different variety. And the 11 gear looks great, which takes us back to what we were talking about. But
I was like, what were we?
Where were you?
11. And the 11 raid. I mean, I have enjoyed having this at least even for just like a contrast.
Sure.
That element of fantasy. And I think the gear sets look good. Hopefully they bring in some more for the next tier for the final raid that kind of cover more of what everybody would want to see. Or even some bonus rewards. Like put those in.
Yeah. I mean, the worst case scenario, I mean, I don't expect the stuff that I want to see to make an appearance in the raid. At this point, I can kind of see what the direction is. What I wanted isn't here. But they have talked about, in that interview I had with Vegito, they are modernizing gear, they're modernizing assets. So maybe they just are getting ready to just dump a whole bunch of stuff into 14. Who knows? They've done it before. We have some of this gear already. So it's not completely out of left field to think that they might add some pieces here and there. So we shall see. Moving on, PvP, we talked a little bit already. There's the new area, being able to do queues with one other person. This one was wild change. PvP action Purify is going to be adjusted. So the recast timer is going to be reduced from 24 seconds to 4. But because you're like, wow, that's crazy. But instead of being 0 MP to use, it will be 2,500. So there will be a cost associated with that now. So I think that'll be a big change for PvP. Resilience will be reduced from 3 seconds to 2. And they're changing some other ones to have persistent visual effects. So we're talking about silhouettes and stuff. Now you can see when people have things on. So there you go. Let's see what else we have. The treasure hunt or treasure vault stuff with Aeron. This is more of like a slot machine thing. There's always some kind of weird gambling, roulette wheel, whatever. This one is a slot machine. They showed a little bit of a preview of this. I mean, it's a treasure dungeon. You're on a moving platform. I kind of joke that it looks like the end of the first Black Panther movie when they're like underground, like with the trail, the cars running and stuff.
Vibranium mine.
Yeah, kind of gave me those vibes. It's a treasure dungeon. There's a roulette thing, and you will earn stuff. One of the mounts that they did show was the what is it, the little yak or yan or what is it called from so that's a thing. Out of everything being added in this patch, the likelihood that it comes from the treasure dungeon is probably that's probably the most likely scenario. information on the new deep dungeon. This was interesting.
Yeah. This was the big portion of it.
Promising.
There was an interview that came out, I think it was from Anime Expo, where Yoshida was talking about this, and he was worried that like hardcore players would be bored with deep dungeon content that is specifically not designed for them. So what they've done, because they've talked about this, they're adding like a fight at the end that you can go into. But there's a lot more to that, I think, than we realized. You'll be able to, so they have different, a new set of like check marks or checkpoints throughout this. So you can start at 71 and go to 100.
Thank you.
And when you clear that, you'll get these items that you can basically use to alter that boss fight. So you can determine if it has more HP or if it has more like fire damage, and stuff like that. And or you could just max
More
out
punching
everything. So yeah, it's super interesting. I think Yoshida even made a comment about like there could be a race for this. Bold of him to mention the R word when they don't support any of that.
To be fair, there's not a single MMO that does. I do have to be clear about that. There's not a single MMO that officially supports the world race. And there's no MMO, not even World of Warcraft, that does their own in-house productions for world race.
Well,
and I think
in-house productions and support, I think, are two different things.
Yes,
operating in the race and supporting it are very different.
But even WoW is they have avoided historically getting directly involved with the race. Now, every now and then they will provide some kind of auxiliary support in the sense of like just generally will say something about the race or stuff like that. But overall, even WoW does not actually get their hands into the race, nor like officially sponsor anything with it or officially promote it or anything. So it's something we'd like to see from 14 and Square Enix, but it's clearly something that has been I still a sticking point for many games. Regardless of if they then have their own like production stuff that they do for other forms of competition, which like WoW does, but 14 doesn't. Well, okay, Crystalline Conflict, but that's also it's kind of a different beast. And it's
Destiny 2 does promote a world first race. They give belts to the first team that clears. I think they're probably the most involved.
They're basically the only
they run a contest mode for the
confusion. Sorry.
I just want to make sure. But I also saw a thing. They just released their last their newest expansion a couple weeks ago, which means a new raid dropped. And it was like something about like 70% of like the first 100 clears cheated or something. Like,
yeah, I mean that's the big problem, right? That's the big problem. It is. I was surprised. All of this conversation, I think, sets the landscape for why many of us were surprised to hear him even say on the broadcast there could be a race for this.
Yeah,
that's something that, like, historically, they haven't even alluded to. It with Square Enix, right? So the fact that they like blatantly are saying, "Hey, we are adding something in." And it is in our minds that this is content that we think would be worthy of something like this community, endeavor, is more communication than we've gotten ever in the past, in whatever way. And I even saw Frosty was talking a bit, tweeting a bit, and I think that one of the designers even was messaged back publicly on Twitter and was kind of giving a little bit more details about this level of difficulty. Pretty much the same thing that they said in the live letter, which was that it'll be like a bit more difficult than a Savage like fourth fight. And that there will be several mechanics that are ultimate level difficulty. So pretty much he reiterated the same thing. But it definitely seems as though they've tried to make this, a difficult offering here at the end.
It is going to be so interesting to see how this shakes out, with the offerings, like, getting into the division between HP and the different types of damage. So you think about the mechanics and which ones you don't want to deal with, right? It makes me think of how people are going to tackle it in a pug sort of way. right?
Yeah.
Or we're going to have a bunch of minimum offering runs, right? Just to get it done for the week.
And that's, I think here too, we should probably also mention too, that they are going to allow matching for these higher tier floors finally, right? Which has always been a point of discussion for us. Like if we can't match something, all of a sudden there's this giant roadblock there, right? That prevents people from doing it. Right. Similarly, you know, when talking about how they were worried that like hardcore people wouldn't want to do Deep Dungeon because it's mid-core content essentially, unless you're like soloing it. I'm going to be really curious because I think you will get groups that are like, oh, here's this new hardcore thing. Well, we have to do it. But I think you might also still have those people that are like, oh, it's Deep Dungeon, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll be really curious to see the community's reaction to this and how they tackle it. If they do tackle it, you know, what kind of, you know, clear numbers we see and stuff like that.
As one of the people in the It's Deep Dungeon, I'm never playing it camp before this, there's a lot of things that they did to smooth the handles of the crap that I just don't want to think about, right?
Yeah.
Like I guess I can be called hardcore in times, but to me it's just like, yeah, I do the thing, I raid log, right? Like that's a typical MMO thing that happens, especially if you're kind of in and out of the game. And the smoother the handle is to grab onto, the better to get you in. And then maybe you get, I don't want to say this, I'm not saying this in a bad way, suckered into doing more and then liking it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I'm really interested in doing this just to see what it's like, to see this design that, frankly, I never thought that they would do. How they kind of realize it, what ideas they have, you know, maybe where I could see that it's going. So yeah, it's encouraging at the very least.
Yeah, I think
definitely the most like you were saying, encouraging thing to me is like, this could be a good system. I don't know if it is a good system. This could be a good system, and I think it's a good place for us to have it implemented too, because they can like observe what's going on with the players that do take up this challenge without it really interrupting the baseline of what's happening anyplace else. And if it does go over well and it does function well, then they can definitely implement it into other things, which is really the thing we've been asking for.
Yeah,
I think okay.
in terms of
fight for it, Fusion.
No. It'd take too long to get over there. I think in terms of,
he won't fight you.
Talking about, smoothing the handles, like it feels like they have rubbed butter all over the handles, so to speak, for this one. Like it feels they have lubed this thing up, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Because it feels like right, obviously it's the fourth Deep Dungeon now that we'll have had in the game, but it also feels like the most the easiest one to access, the friendliest one in terms of checkpoints. And then there's that bonus stuff
to get there
at the end. Yeah, they want people to be able to get into this. And so yeah, I'm really curious to see how this ends up working out. I
am so excited about this. I think that honestly, this live letter had me feeling just positive throughout. There were moments, there were some things for sure where we had a little more discussion, or we were kind of like, or this or this. But you know, especially compared to the last one, where there were several moments that just made me go like, "Oh, what? Like, what? Like,
what even?"
Yeah.
This live letter for me felt like this is what I was hoping to just generally have more of in the patch cycle and Dawn Trail, right? Because when they kind of were just talking about the stuff, sure, a lot of it is what we expected. But the fact that they went in, they addressed some major problems, they were fixing them. Great, they directly listened to feedback. And then we get something like Palace of the Dead, and they didn't just kind of like regurgitate it, they actually went in and tried to like improve this entire experience. And of course, we have to see how it is in practice and how it plays. But this felt like the kind of mentality of, you know, going through and streamlining, as well as like adding, you know, like dealing with some pain points in previous iterations, but then adding something new to it that reinvigorates it, that changes the scale and scope of it, that like expands on it. Yeah, seriously, in a way that I was like, this is what I wanted from Occult Crescent. This is what I wanted from all the other stuff. Like if you're going to bring back other types of content, then add stuff. And this is like the first time I felt like they've brought something back this expansion, and they went like above and beyond with the concepting of it. And that makes me so glad. Like I feel at least a modicum of relief because I was genuinely interested. I was like, okay, more checkpoints. Yeah, that will take away some of the pain, especially as you get to those higher floors and you're trying to keep friends encouraged or engaged. But of course, we want to kind of bridge the gap. I think Deep Dungeons have always, at least in theory, striven to bridge the gap where the lower part of it can be used for leveling. It's a bit easier. It can teach you the gameplay of a class in an expedited way. And you have your little story bit, so you can complete that and you can run for different rewards. And then you have the challenge floors, and those floors kind of tiptoe into the more hardcore aspect. You have the ability to do it solo, which dunks you into a different kind of hardcore aspect that isn't present in many other places in the game. And now they're expanding that even further. And the fact that they did this in such a way that, like, once you get to 99, you can unlock that boss. You can run the normal version of that boss. If you're somebody that's nervous about it, if you haven't done this before, if you really don't want to have to deal with like, well, if we wipe here, we have to go all the way back. You can practice that boss. You can run it. You can experience it. And then you can be like, okay, we are ready. Let's do this. Let's finish it off, or let's do our climb if we needed to reset or whatever
Something
it
else
is.
to add. If you challenge the boss with your offerings and you don't win, you don't lose them.
Yes. So you can go back in, and it's only if you succeed that the offerings are consumed. So if you're going to farm it, then sure, you're going to have to go back. You're going to have to do the floors, all that kind of stuff again. But you can make the boss as hard or not as you want. You can risk it for the biscuit and try to get all of the guaranteed rewards from that boss by maxing its difficulty out. Or you can go, okay, well, look, the only friends I could get to do this insisted on running 4 paladins. So like, you know, this. So like, let's try and make the boss,
it'll be fun,
like more accessible to us, or let's like make its health pool a bit smaller, or let's. And I love it. I think it's so creative.
During our reaction, we talked a little bit about how Orthos, when that came out, we were like, yep, that happened. We ran it. I ran it once. It was with you guys. And I didn't do it again. Really did
the story, and I'm like, well, that's okay. That was a thing.
But when the first one came out, when the first Palace of the Dead came out, I did a bunch of that. It was so great. It was like Brooke was just saying. It was cool for leveling. It was great for learning a job you didn't know yet. It was very, and to see it come around and possibly be that good, solid content again, it was very heartening.
Yeah. The boss too, because we were looking at this. They showed the boss. They teased it during the last live letter, and then yesterday or the other day, they showed us that it's actually, we didn't pick up on this. It's Zeromus EG. It was from a bonus dungeon in 4 Advance.
Oh,
so it's 4 again. Yes, seriously.
So if you haven't had enough Final Fantasy 4 yet, here's a little bit more.
That's why it looked so deeply Final Fantasy, because it is.
Because it is.
Because it is.
All right. Okay. Very cool. Maybe that's also why they didn't feel like they had to hide it as much as like maybe previous ones, because it's like, oh, this is the boss from other things.
We done seen it.
Get excited. Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool.
I'm really excited. I love the whole theme of this deep dungeon. I love like that we're kind of going into the Church of the First Light, that you have to do like ritual offerings to empower this boss. The Fae are involved. The rewards they showed off looked really good, and I hope there's a lot of them, because I think that also made Orthos kind of difficult, where it was just like, cool, we got what we wanted.
And especially with this boss fight thing, like they gotta give rewards, because that, you know, we had the first tier of Criterion and stuff back in Endwalker, and it's like, you're not gonna make this doesn't want people aren't gonna want to keep doing this, so you need to give them something for that. So they did show a handful of armor sets, which would already be more than any deep dungeon has had. All we've gotten is the glowing weapons, and maybe like a mount or a hairstyle.
Yeah, weapons are very good.
Yeah, the base version looks cool with the stained glass. I really want to see what like the upgraded version will look like.
Very, very Ilmeg, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
What, you like a first thing?
What?
Oh yeah.
No.
You know I'm very happy about this.
Yeah.
There's also the new kind of I was like chandelier.
Oh, the chandelier mount. Yeah.
Okay, there's a chandelier mount, but there's also the like candelabras. I don't remember what they called them.
Votive.
Votives. So that's going to be one of the new mechanics of this particular dungeon, where I think they said up to floor 30, if you activate them, they will only help you, but beyond floor 30, if you activate them, there's a chance that they will do something to hurt you or to like hinder the run. So
that's fine. That sounds
cool.
fun.
Like it kind of plays into that Fey folk mischief kind of feel, I think.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. And I mean, the chests always kind of did that after a certain point too. It could either give you a thing or explode in your face.
This is just more on the way to what I think Deep Dungeon really wants to be, but maybe it doesn't know yet. And that's more roguelike than it is right now, right? More immutable runs, right? You know, different paths, temporary bonuses. It's so close to one of them right now, but it hasn't jumped over to the really, you know, like get into your builds and do some really cool stuff, which would be a great place to put that in this game, because they're not gonna do it for actual gear, right? We're not gonna have tier sets. We're not gonna have you know, random trinkets that change things like WoW does. It'd be a great place to do it, you know, like we talk about phantom jobs and the like.
Yeah.
This Deep Dungeon is getting closer and closer to what I think it should be, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't think it is just you.
Maybe, I don't.
Okay, so that's...
I agree with you, and I think other people do too.
So that's it for
Jimmy Hades in Final Fantasy XIV. Thank you.
Oh no!
So I think that's it for Deep Dungeon. I think we covered everything. Instead of summons, you get Juniper Incense, which summons Feo'ol to, you know, it can like support or heal, or there's a couple different things that they can do for you.
Your whole floor.
Yeah. I think that's it for Deep Dungeon, though.
Some of the things it looks like you're gonna get out of here are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Fae. You know, like they can be as serious or goofy as they want,
weird.
and then it'll fit.
Would you like to see a giant cactus with like a weird gilded head hat?
Oh, and the mustache. Yeah. He's rocking that mustache.
I do.
Yeah.
And you will.
Yes, you will.
System updates that are going to be coming with the patch. They're working on the blacklist stuff again, everybody. They are going to be because of whatever they're doing, all of your mute lists will be reset. They will no longer be account wide, which that's a weird one. They'll be character based. But they're changing a whole bunch of stuff. So make sure to look at that. There's a whole separate post about it. So yeah, I remember that was a thing. That was an issue.
That was a thing.
They fixed it in 7.2, and then it was unfixed by the modders about an hour later.
And I hope this one sticks. I really do.
Stop it.
Phoenix Down items. You know, Phoenix Downs, like if you're you're playing like an old Final Fantasy, you use those to like raise people. Will now be able to be used in deep dungeons, instance dungeons, treasure dungeons, guild test. What's a guild test? 4-player trials and variant dungeons, and they will have a 360-second cooldown when used, and they can be stacked up to 999.
Oh, so can I have a request for our listeners. In the comments, please put what you think a guild test is, only wrong answers.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Oh boy.
Good one.
Please.
All right. All right.
And this change is it's so interesting. Right? Like I think this is the expansion where I've experienced tank soloing more than any other expansion.
I agree. Yeah.
Just because of the mechanics, you know, encounter designs getting more interesting. And I've just been in so many experts with, you know, a healer who has died, you know, sometimes no fault of their own. And then it's like, oh goodness, what are we going to do about it? Because I'm not playing Summoner anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Phoenix Down. Hey, now you can just toss it on them.
That's great. My first time running Yue Awada.
Yeah.
Me and the healer died. So we return and we're basically looking down off this cliff, and it's a dancer and a dark knight. I was at the point where I'm like, I'm like doing like my materia like meld stuff. I'm just like, all right, well, that's nothing we can do. And it took longer, obviously, right? But they just sold it. They didn't need us. It was
like, doable.
All right, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's rough. It doesn't feel good, right? Like you don't be part of it. And I think especially in the content that they have decided to allow this in, right, with dungeons and stuff like that, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to get somebody up. I mean, reses, yes, like as a healer, sure, it feels good that that's like a part of my job. And I still think that like the vast majority of people are going to rely on healers and things to do that because it's right there in their kit as opposed to having to stock up these items or have them or stuff like that. But the fact that you can have them now so that you don't have to all like, waste 10 minutes or whatever having this boss, not being able to heal through whatever one thing you needed of it. I really think this will be of greater benefit. And it's nice to see things that had just kind of become these like weird discarded items that were never used, actually to like have them be used is so nice.
I mean, I used to play old Bard. Limit Break on Bard used to be a mass raise. Like, why? Like, oh no, the healer died. Let me clench my butt, dynamis them back up, and it's like it's fine, no worries. This is a good change. I like this change.
I will say, as a former summoner player, do this for all content, you freaking cowards, please, please, because casters are in a state. They have been in a state. They've always been in a state because of raise versus non-raise.
State.
Yeah, right. And it just, everybody had the ability on a 6-minute cooldown. Would it really be that bad in a raid? I don't know. Right? I don't know. I really don't know. And I get that's probably why they haven't by default put it into that content, but I don't know that that's a bad idea, but they would have to reevaluate Red Mage and Summoner at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we've gotten to a certain place in the fight we're in, and both healers are dead, and it's like, well, everybody jump because there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
I did that for 10 years, and I'm retired for now.
Yeah.
I don't want to raid. Some people do want to, and I think maybe you don't even take it away from them, but just make it on the same cooldown or do something akin to battle raises in WoW, which is a system that I've always preferred anyway. I don't know, where you kind of have the whole encounter pitch count or number of raises that you can do. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting change.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it works going forward. Like if they'll keep this, if they'll expand it into other things. Obviously, someone in chat saying, do you think Phoenix Down change came from gameplay feedback from Occult Crescent? Probably not, because they're still going to limit those raises to Chemist or whatever it was. Like, I don't think this will be, this won't be in Fork Tower or anything like that. So
it could if it was, Yeah.
It probably honestly came from people like me that are like, hey, so I was doing this dungeon and I died and I had to wait 15 extra minutes for the tank to solo the boss. that's the feedback I think this probably came from.
Deep dungeon,
probably deep dungeon, because you used to get
right.
one, and then when you pop the chest and you got another one, it would hit the floor.
Yeah. And
you can't use it in a battle, so that's kind of useless.
But now you can, which is
you can.
Nothing is more Final Fantasy than using a Phoenix Down in a fight.
Battle.
Yes, it feels so on point. And I think this expansion was also one where there was a lot of feedback about the difficulty of the dungeons. Like a lot of us, I loved them. I was like, I think this is fun.
Yeah.
Even the ones where the death and not having the reses, it made us reset several times, especially in like the main story. There were a couple bosses that learning them early on, it was just like, oh my God, we just wiped again. Okay, fine. Like, here we go. But I like that. I like that the dungeons have a little bit of bite to them. Some of them, we've had a bit of variation where like some really haven't had that bite, especially in like the post-patch content. But I think there's still good design stuff. There's new stuff. We've reviewed it. We've talked about it. So maybe that was kind of a general feedback thing they wanted to address overall, like with Deep Dungeon coming up and other things too. But having had a lot of feedback, rather than being like, well, we'll just make all of the dungeons a lot easier. Maybe they were like, well, let's give them some more tools to be able to get through them. And that might help a little bit, right?
That's the way you do it.
Give us stuff to do. Yes, give us stuff to do rather than making stuff dumb. Like,
and
by dumb, I mean dumbed down.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm maining Black Mage right now, but you better believe as long as it's not prohibitively expensive, I'll have a stack of 999
Right.
on me at all times.
Yeah. I mean,
just
if you
because it
do
helps.
deep dungeon it all, you'll probably get a fuck
Get
ton
a
of
stack,
them.
yeah.
Another system update they're doing, cast bars are going to appear below boss
That's
nameplates
cool.
now to provide greater visibility of cast
you.
timers, especially for bosses with multiple targets. Boss fights with
Did you
multiple
forget
targets.
to focus target? Doesn't matter.
I never forget to
Yeah,
focus target.
Oh, of course.
But if there's something
obviously.
else in the arena that you can only focus target one thing, what if there's two things? What if there's 3 things
Yeah.
in the arena?
What if
Quit.
there are 4 plants casting 2 different abilities and you can't tell which one is doing the circle or the cross? And the tanks are
can.
like, which one am I
You
picking?
can.
You
They
just
have
die,
different
and then
cast
somebody
names.
uses a
I
phoenix
know,
down
but
to
it'll
raise
appear
you.
underneath them now, so
Yes.
they can visually see it. That's
Oh my
the
God.
good part. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
it's going to be great for that.
Portrait mode is now going to be something in the group post feature, so it'll just vertical. You want to take some pictures for your cell phones.
Further shortification of all content. Thanks. I'm kidding.
They're also adding a chromatic aberration filter with color fringing and distortion, and they're going to let you scale the intensity of the color filters now as well. New voice packs for Dome and Mahjong, if that's a thing you do. Wiklamat, Kona, and Bakul Jaja will be added to that.
Cool.
There's going to be an increase of the character display range. So there's going to be settings now for wide and maximum. So it's basically how far out you can see things that are loaded, like different monsters and stuff. So that's really cool. And then of course chat bubbles. That's the big thing, right? They've been working on this for a long time. We've talked about this a little bit before. You can do up to 2 lines in a chat bubble. The chat bubbles do have different bubble designs depending on if it's a party thing, a shout thing. A lot of stuff can be customized with color and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing I know a lot of people are excited for. So that'll be dropping here on August 5th.
They are not gonna have that for combat though.
Not in combat.
We talked about it.
Yeah,
we talked about it when the first live letter came up, and it's like there's no way you can have it in combat. You just can't. You could, but you can't.
Yeah.
Just with the way that they're thinking about it. So, hey, it is what it is.
See how it goes.
I would prefer not to have to turn them on.
Yeah. I wish they were a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fine. It's going to be neat, but I kind of wish that it held more text.
Yeah, they were talking about how it's
a big blocky thing over my head, but
I think
they're talking about how it's a rendering burden, basically.
Yeah,
I mean it makes sense, but
yeah, I think that the people that'll use this the most are probably like our peers, and so
who are gonna want a bigger.
Who are gonna want a bigger? Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like. You know
what?
All the messages are truncated, but you're not going to be able to you're not going to have it in battles, right? And even if you were talking in a fight, you're not going to have that long of a message, but that's irrelevant because no battles. So yeah, the people that are going to want to use this, like, here's my doctoral thesis about what I'm ordering at the club tonight, right? And it's going to be like 2 lines.
But having that little thing go off over somebody's head will make you go, they're speaking.
Yeah. Yep.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, there's no reason not to have it. It's just like a fun extra thing, and if you don't like it, turn it off. You know?
And I really it starts off default, right? So you have to turn it on if you do like it.
Yeah.
It's opt-in.
The thing that I actually do really like about this is that the different kinds of speech bubbles do have like a little different image to them, and they're kind of adorable.
Yeah, they're really cool. That it'd be the only reason that I would want to turn them on, because traditionally I'd rather the chat log.
Yeah.
But like the styling of them is kind of cool.
It's cool.
It kind of feels, I don't know, like people talk about immersion with chat bubbles, whether it's more or less, but at the very least they attempted to theme them very well, so they fit in with the rest of the idea of the game, and they're not just blank canvas colored text bubbles.
Yeah, and you can turn them off and on like individually too. So like if you just want say, you can just have say bubbles.
Yeah. And that
cool.
is it for our system adjustments. They did show some mounts and mins. We talked a little bit. There's the little ram guy. There's a not void scent, sin eater beaver.
Yeah.
There's a sin eater, just a little white beaver. If that's something you've ever wanted, now is the time.
So, as a community, we should agree on what to call this guy. Is this a beaver eater or a sin beaver? Do you think? Please discuss. No,
I think
nobody
Sin
wants
Beaver.
to discuss.
I think
Sin
Sin
Beaver?
Beaver.
Why
I like
not?
Sin Beaver.
Why not both?
I mean,
Yeah.
I actually didn't really think of what the implications of the other one
Yeah.
were until after I said Sin Beaver, and now I'm like, oh, I chose correctly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
trying to give you an easy
I think
choice.
both.
No way.
I think both. Just have
Fun and easy.
interchangeable. Yeah.
I just liked Sin Beaver because it sounds more like Sin Eater.
Yeah, I think
so
it
too.
does. I
sounds like
it.
Snake Eater. I would play a Metal Gear Solid game where you just play as the beaver. Yeah.
That sounds like something that would happen in Metal Gear, to be fair.
It doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delta's coming out. Where's my mod for the 14 beaver to swap out as Snake?
Oh, man.
You know,
Yeah.
the Sin Beaver is really cute and I love him, but
Yeah.
I am also very glad that we are going to finally get that Faoul minion. Like, it
Yes.
seems like something that should have just been a part of the Shadowbringers MSQ.
Right?
But I like that now, at least, like with the extended kind of content and the fact that Faoul is a part of this story,
Mhm.
right? You can finally like go on this journey and do this quest and other stuff and kind of solidify that. And now Faoul can come with you.
I wonder how many
everywhere.
people will be like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, deep dungeon. Faoul pops up. They're like, actually, maybe I don't want to do this.
I think one of my favorite things is there's a screenshot, I think, when they're going over some, and it's Meteor with Faoul, the king, as your follower, and it looks like you're running away from them, and it's just hilarious.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You can't get away. You cannot get
Do
away.
you guys know what the heck this radish face mushroom leg man is?
I think it's a boss out of deep dungeon.
Yes, deep dungeon.
It gives
Like a
me
previous one or this new one?
the new
New
one.
one.
It
This one.
Okay.
it does give me. I don't think the model is the same. I haven't looked. But it reminds me of the first boss you fight in FF9 that has Garnet kind of like in a cage on its
In a
back.
cage.
That's what it makes me think of. Maybe they just took that as like a concept and ran with it.
Inspiration, yeah.
But yeah.
He's weird.
Yeah.
He's
But
fun.
like
He's a weird
the-
guy.
The votive
like
or
it's-
chandelier. I will write
Yes,
that.
the shit.
Yeah.
Good.
First time Final Fantasy 14 needs to license a track from another artist is just
Yeah.
put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a mod.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
no.
it. Someone
Oh,
already
yeah.
made it.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
just waiting for the model to replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
Can
announcements.
I get a wrecking ball, please?
Yeah.
Official merch that's popping up. Square Enix has they're doing another pop-up store. So we'll have new acrylic stands and a silicone ice tray. They say availability outside of Japan. Maybe we'll see. During our live watch of this, the acrylic stands that they show, they've had this style before. It's not the same style as the stuff we've had in NA. The NA ones have like a circular base. These have more of like a rectangular base. Those have only ever been available in Japan. I do have the previous silicone tray. I don't remember if I bought that off NA or if that was an import thing. But
This FanFest thing.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe NAU. I wouldn't expect it, but we'll
It'd be nice.
see.
It'd be
I
cool.
want it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I
make
would like
chocolate
to-
for everybody if I get it.
Yeah, I would like to
Yes,
drink
please.
my whiskey on the rocks of my former job. Thank you.
Gosh, I think it'd be fun to have a cute little themed party. You know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean?
Yeah, it would be.
And then
There
like
you go.
serve your friends their like appropriate ice
Mhm.
cube infused drink. Be good.
The downside is there's only one insert for each dropstone, so you do need to prep this like several days in advance. New Pulse album, Volume 2 Deluxe Edition is going to be released September 24th. This is 10 tracks from the first release and then 5 new ones. So it's not like a whole full album of new stuff. It's just there's 5 new tracks we haven't heard.
Mhm.
There's also some new shirts. Square Enix has made a new clothing brand. It's called Lit Bath apartment.
Sure.
Okay. This is I have issues with this. So they have there's like 2 different shirts right now. They're both 14 based. If you go on their Japanese website, or I guess it's one site, you can view it in Japanese or English. They show 3 sizes. And then if you go to the online store for NA or EU, they only sell 2 of those sizes. They're still Japanese sizes, and they are $65. I will never not complain about them selling shirts in other regions in Japanese sizes. Like, I can't wear this. Like, big people exist, tiny people exist. Like, what are you doing, Square? $65? Get out of here.
Yeah.
No way.
At least with like their Uniqlo partnership, I think part of what that was so successful as well was because like Uniqlo is everywhere. Like they have stores all over. You could access those shirts in any region, whatever sizing scale. And I mean, I do think that it's something where again, it's always a little bit rough when they just charge so much for various merch items, let alone on shipping, depending on what store you're going through. And then 2, when they don't always seem to really have an international audience in mind, and like their store itself is not like really inherently accommodating to like, yeah, if stuff's coming to that shop, we're also going to have an NA EU release, how you can get it, so yeah, it's I think at this point, honestly, I pretty rarely look at the official merch unless something like really specific pops up that I get excited about, because even in the times in the past when I've been like, oh, I do want to go get this, I'll go, and then when I add it to the cart and then the shipping comes on, I'm like, yep. Oh, no, I don't think so. And then I like delete it from my cart. Yep. So it's rough because it's a huge game. People want the stuff for it, and we don't want to have to like try to roundabout import stuff that's like not being released at any other events in the rest of the world because they don't hold the same pop-up events and stuff in the US or elsewhere. So it's like, I know they're a Japanese company. It would be really nice, though, to have a bit more accessibility in some of these things. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not going to buy the shirts personally. I know some people that were really excited about the design. If they come out with other designs, they might get me. A couple.
Okay, so
a couple.
So like the statement I'm about to make is not to poo-poo what anybody has said. The shirt design here is crap. Like, why do people even care that it's $65? Don't buy it. It's not good.
I'm with you, honestly. It's not my favorite of any design that they could pick. Like, I don't know.
Good.
I don't know. One might say that, I'm sure they had this planned for forever. It's going to be a brand for more than just this Final Fantasy. Could you stop making new ventures? Please just stop, please, just for a sec. Yeah. Just a little bit. Especially when it's like things that are very expensive to make sometimes if they're looking for quality, right?
Yeah.
And shipping, and like these shirts are $64. I hope that they're making a good profit off of that. One would imagine it's a t-shirt, but then again, it's just like, we're talking about development costs and things like that. And you just see the company go, and we're going to open a clothing brand. And I'm like, a lot that goes along with that.
So that's why Fork Tower is the way it is. They had to make
that is.
I know.
That is not what I'm saying. And it's not as bad as NFTs, or you know what I mean. But it's also
true. Yeah.
I had Scratcher.
If it was something where they were going, hey, we realize that we have a huge international audience and that our platforms right now aren't serving, we have opened up this new thing that's going to be like a hub of all of our merch or fashion clothing merch or other stuff like that. And we'll have sizing in appropriate regions. I think that'd be a little different. But yeah, I mean, it does make me wonder a little bit, like, how good that t-shirt going to be, though? Because I have just like a couple t-shirts that I'm like, this is a really good t-shirt. And a lot of the other t-shirts that I've gotten, they're just t-shirts, Yeah, I was heartbroken because probably the 14 t-shirt that I loved the most was the Heidelin Sundering shirt, the Steppy Heidelin shirt. and the print on that one does not survive.
that did not last long.
Washable.
Even
it has completely peeled off of the shirt, and I can't wear it anymore. I've had to throw it away.
Good thing it wasn't like a limited time thing or anything, huh? Oh right.
Oh, look how sad you made us now.
I'm with you, because I had the Lopperit shirt, I think from the last series of FanFest, where it's like it's got like a pocket and there's like little Lopperits on the bottom. I think I washed it twice and half of that faded away.
Oh
yeah,
I haven't worn mine yet. Maybe I will.
Be careful.
Yeah,
I mean, I would just recommend to anybody to probably hand wash them and do it with like cold and stuff like that. Because and don't put them through the dryer, just like hang dry them.
Never.
But the amount of people that have the time to hand wash all their t-shirts and hang dry them.
Like if
you're paying $60-something for a t-shirt, I would kind of
this shirt better dry and like wash and dry itself. It needs to be lined with mithril.
It was a bummer. I love that shirt.
That's a video game.
Yeah.
You know,
it's okay. It's all right.
I think it's I don't know. I'm going to go a little harsh. It's a little embarrassing that they're starting their own clothing brand, but then to sell it in other regions, they're still just importing the Japanese sizing. I think that's they've never been good about this. And anyone that's ever wanted to order anything from Square Enix, import it. Literally any other site that sells this will have it for cheaper, and the shipping will either still make it more affordable, or it'll get to you quicker. We had the Primals CD that just dropped with like 5 new tracks or something. Like, why release a CD? It's like baby amount of tracks. But they're like, it's now available, and they this was like an English NA account tweet or whatever, and it's like, okay, cool, why hasn't it shipped then for me? Oh right, because it's available in Japan, but then it still takes several weeks for the NA store to send it out. Meanwhile, if you had imported it from anywhere, you'd have it like the day before release even. So never order it from Square Enix if you can help it, because you'll get it quicker and you'll get it cheaper. And this has always been a thing, and it's just, it boggles my mind that this is still a thing. But yeah, don't buy $65 shirts. Vote with your wallet. Unless you really want to and you really like it and you have the money, like, then do whatever you want. Please be free. Don't let us judge anything. I think the shirts will look cute with like modern streetwear and stuff. It'll be neat. It's not like super obvious, but yeah, I think for me that one's probably going to be a bit of a pass. Unfortunately. Hard pass. Do more collabs with people that make affordable things.
Yes.
We don't need like $200 bracelets. We don't need $400 earrings. Like,
but they look so good on Yoshi P's wrist.
Oh well, good. I'm happy for him.
During this live letter, wearing that unbelievably expensive Zemth, and I was just like, no. It does look good, Yoshi P, but I got one on Etsy for $30. I mean, that's it's also made of metal. I guess it was a gift technically. It was like, it's very nice and it's beautiful, but like, it did not cost me $200.
I mean, that's the problem. I mean, especially with some of their jewelry, like they always try to they claim anyway, right, that they make it from like high quality materials and stuff like that.
They probably do.
And then it costs like $1 million, and then they'll be like, let's make something affordable, and then they'll put out like the Solution 9 thing, the little head, whatever the hell that thing's called, right? The soul thing.
Right, the little.
Right, yeah. They made a regulator, and it's like what was it, like 40, $50, and it looked like a Happy Meal toy. Like, it looked so cheap. But it's like, there's no, like, you guys got to find a middle ground where like quality is good, but it's like affordable, and it's always been a struggle for them, I feel like.
I like nice collector's items, but I think especially as times just become much harder for a lot of people, it's very hard to justify sometimes the costs on those, unless you are an avid collector and you have the spare income. I think that's why a lot of the community has turned to community creators and artists and shops. But it can be difficult with that too, because then if an item gets too popular, sometimes Square Enix has to step in and issue, cease and desists and things. So yeah, it doesn't create like a huge avenue, I think, for them to keep expanding the variety of stuff that they're able to offer. So yeah, usually, honestly, I turn the live letter off when they start talking about the
Paintsy
merch.
Brush. I still don't understand why they don't get into the plushie business. Everyone would throw money at Scions and Asians. You want to Google Taito right now, and you'll be amazed at all the things you don't know about that have been released. Taito it's owned by Square Enix, but it's basically all the stuff that gets released for like those prize machines in arcades, because arcades still exist in Japan. They have released so much stuff, including plushies. They've released like they just announced the what's the thing that pulls the boat in Dawn Trail, like the seal
the
thing.
manatee thingy.
They're making a plush of that. Taito, Japan only. This is why you also import, because you get access to so much more things that like you didn't even know existed. Like the little thing that Y'shtola summons, Taito in Japan. Like it's ridiculous.
Drippy.
Like I got the little pointing is hard. Like I got a little like frog mascot looking plush dude. It's got like a wireframe so you can pose it. Taito, all this stuff back here, I think is almost.
Why don't they have links to Taito on their like on their websites and stuff? It's weird. That's Taito. Yeah,
those things are expensive now too. Those Heavensward figurines.
Yeah, I have some of the little figurines that are Taito. And what's funny is that originally
Nutkin.
I didn't even know that they were owned by Square Enix until you literally just said that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a company that like Square Enix allowed to collaborate with them or something, or use some of their properties to sell various little goodies.
Yeah, it's wild, like the amount of stuff they've made over the years that just is like, how do we get it? Like the Nutkin I have because I won it from a freaking what do you call it? When they gave away prizes at FanFest, they had like little scratch cards or whatever.
Yeah,
I won the Nutkin at FanFest. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, and those things are expensive. I think the Emmerich one is going for like hundreds of dollars just for like
really.
They're old and they're hard to find now. Wild, absolutely wild. Yeah.
Cute, you got it right there.
Look at that.
Amazing.
Wow.
Love it.
Like I said, I have all of them except for the Nutkin.
Well, it's good. I'm happy to know you got your retirement fund in order.
Yeah, the neighbor's over here like, what? You all have trouble getting lucky carrots? Oh, wait, excuse me. You all didn't get the full Taito collection of figurines.
The top of that Emmerich figure is actually balding a little bit. She rubs the head for good luck before she goes into Occult Crescent.
I love it. I love it.
but you're not wrong. Like if you just find the Taito site with 14, it's just so much. It's pages.
I imported
of stuff that
them,
you're like, what?
like Fusion is saying, off of like CD Japan.
CD Japan, Ami.
They were maybe like $12.
Yeah, Ami is actually really good.
Keychain, it's
AMI.com. That's 11's done a weird thing recently where they've had events in Japan, and this again is something that's in that interview because I asked about it. But they won't officially announce the merch like on the 11 site, but on social they'll be like, "Here's where you can buy stuff." And it's like, if you're not following the news from Japan, you're like, "It's just like a random burst of merchandise. That's weird. Oh, it's for this event that's only in Japan." Okay. So like there's been like towels, pins. I got the scripts from script reading events. Of course, they're in Japanese, but it's like there's all this stuff, and they just like kept a little teeny bit for our Ask Aetheryte Radio stuff. We've talked about this a little bit last time too. But what we're going to do on the first of the month, we're going to throw up a new Ask Aetheryte Radio post up on our Patreon, and for that whole month, just throw your comments in there, throw your questions in there. As we do episodes that month, we'll go through, check for new questions, read them off. So for today, we have speculation and personal opinion time from Femboy Charizard. A two-part question. What jobs do you think will be added in 8.0? And what jobs would you like added or thematically changed, regardless of game design? Examples, Samurais as tanks or Blue Mage not being limited. Zen, you wanna go first? You seem like you already know your answer.
So theoretically, Fizz range is up next time. Like we gonna get another one next time. Theoretically, I really, really, really want Corsair. I really do. It's not a secret. I don't not talk.
This is the first I've heard of
it. So yes, I would love to see Corsair. It was my favorite job in 11. The gameplay involved basically kind of playing blackjack with dice.
Yeah.
You rolled with the aim to hit a certain lucky number, and if you got that lucky number, your buff was higher. And it was just really fun.
Yeah, it was such a cool job.
Yeah, you're playing a tiny mini game the whole time you were buffing people. It's great. I loved it. I don't know exactly how they would implement it in 14.
Yeah, not that way.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to how Astro used to play with cards.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Astro doesn't play like that anymore. Maybe I could get Corsair. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. I know. I loved Astro
know.
as well. Yeah.
Well,
You know,
maybe that would be what would bring about the change. You know what I mean, Zanitra?
Yeah.
That like
Yeah.
we'd
Yeah.
get Corsair, but then they'd also add more of a chance element back into Astro. Like,
Yeah.
But yes,
See,
that's
it's
what I really, really want.
Yeah.
Corsair, please give me I deserve it. I'm kidding. I don't deserve anything. I was so excited about talking about Corsair that I didn't even think about the next part of the question. Are we gonna do favorite job first and then go back
we can go first. What job you want to see added? Gosh, I don't have mine yet. I'm trying to mull it over.
Sure. If we think that it's fizz range and probably tank
Yeah.
is the idea. That's the idea at very least. I don't know, right? Tank to me right now, if we really just think about it really quickly for a second, we've got Paladin who's blocky but also magic-y, right? We've got Dark Knight, which is magic and anti-magic, kind of a little bit, right? But more darkness. Gunbreaker is just, I got a gun and a sword, and I press buttons a lot. And Warrior is too angry to die, or at least let me append that.
I forgot about Warrior. I'm going through the list in my head. I'm like, oh right,
Man
Warrior.
too angry to die.
Exactly. So like,
Accurate.
when I think about Final Fantasy, first foremost, like tanks, how many of those have there really been? Honestly, because it's a single player game that doesn't really rely on that, but things coded as tanks. I know we already have it, kind of, but I would love to see a Rune Knight type thing. Magic.
Damn, you took from.
I figured you would as well. You would as well.
Adeline had in 11 had Rune Fencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Rune Fencer is awesome. I agree.
Yeah.
Awesome idea. I love the protection of runes, right? Putting runes on people for protection for them. Why not put it on the ground like sacred soil? You know what I mean? Like, it could be really, really cool. So that's personally what I hope for, a more magical, but physically magical, if you get my meaning, tank. Right?
Yeah.
Not magical.
The stream has dropped.
Oh no.
No.
No, that's old. That's old.
It's good right now. Yeah, that was old.
My meter's good. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That was gonna be mine too. I guess for the sake of
me and Rick are like, man, what can we do? And Charles is like, the one that everyone else is thinking.
I mean, I think everybody's thinking of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the case. Well, yeah, of course you're gonna think about Corsair, and I can't even think of another.
We can have both of them.
We can have both.
Yeah. I think that those are the front runners probably.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they could do because we don't know where.
Unless they come out of left field and they make something new, right? Like
completely new. Like Viper, technically.
Puppet tank master.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Look, you could do that where you could have some
just
kind
in
of
a full ass mech.
Yeah, we've talked about the idea of something that would be kind of like Garlean inspired, right? That could be something like a mech suit, or could be Gobbo inspired even. I mean, I don't know where you would get into some kind of robot thing. I think for me, because I tend to lean away from that towards the magic side, I do like the idea of a tank that uses magic primarily. I think the idea of things like runes are super cool.
Yeah.
But even just like if there was a tank that, it was all about using magic in some kind of way, or even, I don't know, a tank you wouldn't expect to be a tank, like some kind of class that could do illusions or something.
Robe Master.
Robe Master,
the new tank, Robe Master.
Yeah.
Something that could do something like that. Hearing you say Robe Master made me think of the fight that we have. Oh my god, when was this? Was it the treasure? Was the
I know in the remnants in
okay, yes. And there
Ozadol,
the boss. There's a boss, I think, in that one. Who uses the fabric.
The Robe Master.
Cool. Like if you had a class that could wield fabric or things like that, and that could create, impassable walls or like whatever else, or shields, or it could like wrap around to protect.
Here's your new tank. You ready
or...
for this? You sitting down?
Yeah.
Mime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
And
expedition
then I
crossover
agree
we
with
all
the
want.
Corsair, but juggler.
Oh, there you go. Either one.
Mime and a juggler. We're going to France in 8.0, everybody. Baguettes for
They're in
everybody.
France.
I don't
You know-
think that this is a thing they would do, but I have been playing when I could. I've been playing some Night Rain, and there is a character in Night Rain that can like transform into this beast, this crucible beast.
Mhm.
And they actually kind of ended up being an unexpected sort of tank in certain situations because they can like sort of health pool, and then they can deal all this damage, but they can like, so you could have something where you actually transform in some
That makes me
capacity, although-
think of Vincent in 7.
Yes.
But
Yeah, there
then
you go.
also Warrior is kind of the berserker already. So
Yeah, but this might be more, phases of different things you turn into for different things, like
Yeah.
maybe a more physical imposing tank type, but then you can switch into some other type of mitigation.
maybe.
Because when I'm thinking about this, I keep butting into the problem that I don't know that they are, but when I think of archetypes of tanks in MMOs, right? I think of like the dodge tank. Well, we can't have that, because if a tank could dodge things, healing would not be prescribed.
Mm.
And like I don't think that we're ever going to get a dodge tank. I just don't think that fits into the way that they've made the combat. I could see maybe taking from WoW, because it's there, right? A stagger tank. So if you're not familiar with that concept, it's kind of the monk tanks in WoW, in which you get hit, and a certain amount of that happens right now, but the rest of it happens over time. And you can do things to mitigate that, or to kind of manipulate that into different ways. That could be an interesting way to do like a very tanky but not very tanky, you know what I mean, type of maybe personal shielding type stuff. I don't know, but I have trouble thinking of more types
Blink
of tanks.
Blink tank. Make Ninja the tank.
Blink. Yeah, if only, but I don't think that they're ever going to do
No.
it, because you could invalidate, like imagine if you could dodge a tank buster without using your big abilities. Like I don't think that's ever going to fly. I wish it would. I wish we would change it so that it could, but I don't think that's ever going to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then the second part of the question, what jobs would you like to see added or thematically changed?
Wait, I didn't even say what
Yeah.
range fizz. Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh,
Quistis
yeah,
is good.
go ahead.
Oh,
No, it's okay. It doesn't really matter.
Did you have an idea? Oh,
Quistis, whip class.
whip class. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
She's a
rest
blue
my
mage.
case. I listen. I know. I know she technically is.
You're like, but I don't care.
but I don't care. She uses a whip. It's cool. We don't have that.
Mhm.
It is cool. I agree.
do not
Let's
have
do
that.
something that is like Quistis, sort of, but maybe not. It doesn't have to directly be blue mage. You know what I mean? It could be
Yeah.
something else. It could have a similar vibe.
we'll just have a new class that's teacher mommy that wants to date me.
I'm fine with that. Quite honestly, you could call it step
I
on
don't-
me.
Step.
You can
Yeah.
call it whatever
There
you want.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whip class could be reverse red mage. You stay close and then you go far. Done.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that.
Like you could do that.
There you
Uh,
go.
I don't
Love that. I rest my case. The end.
Zen
That's all I
is just like giving me the look.
sword whip.
Sword
It's a general
whip.
look. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
just to you.
God. Okay.
Wow. Okay. So it's at all of us. Dang.
Quistis is my #1 all-time favorite Final
Mhm.
Fantasy character end.
Wow.
So I'm like, be careful what you say.
Okay, so then
Yes.
what do you want to see added or thematically changed, regardless of game design? They give examples, and I mean, I've said this before,
Mhm.
so it's not going to be a surprise. Make Blue Mage not limited. Make Beastmaster
No,
not
God.
limited. Like,
Sure.
if you want to have those jobs as content, fine. But if it has the word job in it, it needs to be able to queue up and go into everything else that every other single job in this game can do.
Yep.
That's it.
Scholar. Unhook it from Summoner.
Yeah,
yeah.
Make it Scholar again. Pick one thing or the other. Tactical or fairies. Pick one. Probably fairies, because Sage is tactical now.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
Yeah. Monk needs help. Thematically, it's good, but like play wise, it's like, what have you thrown together at this point?
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It looks like it should be really good, and then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Poor Monk needs help.
Yeah.
They've been put in the corner. Last expansion I would have said Bard. Bard did get some polish. Bard's on the up and up, I think, personally.
Yeah.
You know what, a
lot of work for not much, though.
If I can dabble the line with both of these questions, give us Ranger and redo Bard.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like that. We have Troubadour that's coming for Guild Wars too.
Yeah, looks good.
And it looks good. It looks cool. You can use all these different instruments. You know, you have different sort of mesmer effects. So these are sort of illusions and things that the recounting of these narratives of legend sort of stir. Yeah, it's cool. So like even oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you a question because you're into Guild Wars, as we know. We don't know a lot about it just yet. But it looks like it fills that nebulous support-y role that we are crying out for here, or is that not true in Guild Wars kind of like system?
Guild Wars
I know we don't know a lot about it yet. No,
it's fair. We've seen a little demo of it that they just did yesterday, actually.
Yeah, right.
So we have a little more information, but Guild Wars 2 support capabilities are not in too dissimilar of a place to some degree from 14. In the sense that most of the buffs that are given out at this point have been condensed down to two specific ones, alacrity or quickness.
Wow.
And so while there are other things, like there's other stuff, there's damage reduction or there's CC or there's other things that we would quantify as being like support adjacent, right? Technically, those two buffs have become kind of like the core of most of the stuff that happens in Guild Wars 2. But it does have a lot of that kind of support orientation where you have stuff like that, you have some healing, you have some other stuff that you can do. So it does. And while I still dream of the day that, yes, we have MMOs where there's like a huge array of buffs and they all play these like cool roles and content is designed around it. And it's definitely something that I think a lot of MMOs struggle with. Guild Wars 2 does have slightly more options and variability depending on the content than a lot. And there is still stuff again that's support adjacent, but it's not quite it's still not like a huge buffet of buffs that you're using, right? So
buffet.
But yeah, I honestly I agree with Fusion in the sense that I think it'd be fun to see Bard get more of an identity or separate Ranger out from it. You know, funnily enough, I don't hate White Mage. I play it. I'm sure you all know that. I don't hate White Mage where it's at. I know. I don't hate the new things we got for it. I think it's solid. It's good. But I have a little bit of envy. I'm a little envious. I'm a little salty that they gave that Divine Shroud to Scholar.
Sure.
And I know why. Like there's justification. There's reasons that why. But like it's I kind of want them to redo it and make it more fairy-ish. And I double down. Like, I kind of want it to be more obviously fairy-ish, and I kind of want White Mage to get the like cool angelic nature thing. You know, like I would love to have something like that. So I don't think it's pressing, but
I would like to triple down on Scholar. Because they gave them expedience, and that belongs to Fizz Range. It just does.
Sure.
Shut the hell up.
You're right.
Give me the fast.
What a weird thing to give to Scholars. Like, also, this makes you go fast.
Yeah.
All right.
It makes sense. It's a tactical thing. It makes sense. But also, what?
Yeah, and why can't Fizz Ranged also do it? I guess
why can't literally any other job do it? That's the question.
No, I like it. It's good we use it in raids, but
yeah, you know,
it scares me.
The thing, I think you all know where I'm gonna go if you ask me what I want to be changed.
Is it Summoner?
Is it Summoner?
I think it might be.
I thought you loved Summoner. I thought Summoner was perfect and has been ever since its implementation.
You know what? I think I only said once during Endwalker because I stopped believing it immediately afterwards, like patch 1. Summoner is such a great foundation for the future. The way that they changed it was such a great foundation to then build upon, and then they didn't. I never thought that that was true, right? We'd started out, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And we get into it, and it just seems like, no, I don't think that's what it's going to be. And now it's I mean, it's fine. You can play it. It's fine. Like, you can play every single job in the game, even Machinist. I know people are like, it doesn't do enough damage, and it doesn't for what it is. But like, there's just this feeling with Summoner and Red Mage more right now. Red Mage is actually the one that's more out of tune with everyone else, in that it's like, okay, so this is all I can do. All right. Because of the raise that I may or may not use. And also, you didn't give me anything new to really change my theming. I can summon not plot spoiler, because you were like, we're not going to go all the way with that. We're going to give you a Bahamut that does the spell from the plot spoiler. So that's good. Just make up another Bahamut. Every Final Fantasy does it. That's cool.
Red Dragon.
But yeah, exactly. But it's just lacking so much in the new design. Like, it was made in the new design to start. And yeah, it's the caster that's probably the most able to deal with new encounter design. But the one that's the worst right now is Red Mage. Like I said, I start talking with Summoner, but Red Mage, why are you doing what you're doing to lose to every other caster that's easier to play? Especially with this new encounter design, because you have to go in and out of melee. And if you've been doing Savage, you know that that's a little bit harder than it has been, especially when you need to stay on the wall, running away from ads for a portion of a fight. Or you have to be literally the furthest people away on an island and not be able to get to said boss. This is the same fight, by the by, right? These things, right? And yes, skill issue sometimes, right? You got to figure out how to do it. You got to talk to your friends and maybe risk it for the biscuit, but that still feels bad.
Biscuits a lot today, you guys.
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe. Maybe. But all of that is to say that I just think caster needs to be thought, especially with the idea of encounters being faster and having more things for ranged to do. And they did this with Black Mage to make it easier, and that was mixed, and I'm still mixed about it, and I'm playing it currently. Like, it is easier to do, but you've also asked for a lot more. And the career Black Mages are just going to force their party to do what they were doing before. But newer Black Mages are going to go, well, I should be able to do that now. And you are. It's just a little bit lopsided there. And Red Mage especially more. Like, I'm not being a complaining Black Mage, because it's honestly fine. Red Mage needs some help in that way. So I'm just going to yell about casters until I'm blue in the face, I guess, which will take a while for me.
Yeah, Red Mage.
Sir.
Red Mage Machinist. Thank you. Red Mage and Machinist. I think you point out too that right now, as far as like actual terms of balance or things like that, they probably need the most. And I agree. I think they do. A lot of the other classes are doing fairly well. Viper is doing extremely well, especially in certain fights. But I think that perhaps this is one angle we haven't talked about. If they are going to be looking at with class design moving forward, designing fights that might showcase different damage profiles, like AoE damage, single target, something where even ranged itself could get more of a focus, because being in melee, you can't do it, or there's a problem and stuff, whatever phase, whatever thing. I think that it would be nice to see them kind of shift some of the classes to showcase some of those things, or to empower classes that theoretically are supposed to be able to do those things, right? I think there was a big surprise for a lot of people that like Viper or other classes were doing so well in the ad phase of M6S, for example. Whereas other classes that you would think would have big AoE damage, like your casters or stuff like that, it was like, oh, actually, not that they're doing badly per se, but they certainly are not doing what some of these other classes are doing.
And they simply can't reach the gimme cat.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless your party has reconfigured for you.
Yeah. So I think it's something where they need to take a look at those sorts of things. And I think that some of our classes, especially older classes, make them shiny. like just make them shiny. I don't like some of the class concepts. We've talked about this even in past expansions. It's what we want, but some of them I think just aren't quite as shiny and cool and flashy as like modern design. So like keep sort of reinforcing their identities, keep giving them visuals or things that are cool and that make you feel cool playing them. And that's something I'd like to just see for the classes. I don't want them to have to like replace a bunch of beloved animations or anything, but maybe we can go in and give everybody a little bit of a polish up. We could even get totally wild, and if we really wanted to revolutionize everything, we could add, I don't know, branching subsects or subclasses or subtrees. I really like that in WoW you can pick the different sort of, you know, the words are evading me right now. Yeah, like your hero talents, right?
Yes.
So you can have these different focuses that then are like a different way that your class uses their skills, you know, and that gives you different themes, different effects, different abilities that can kind of be added in and make you the druidic white mage, or the white magic ascended holy white mage, or the right, like, so you can have different aspects. I don't know, I just think that classes, but they could all use a little brush up. A couple could use some things from a particular practicality standpoint. Design overall has some new twists, and I'd like to see them kind of bulk out classes to shine in those roles. And a few classes maybe have a little, not as bad of a crisis of identity in some ways, but like a few classes I think could just use a bit more identity in general. So
you know, we used M6 as an example of classes struggling a little, but I think M6 is also an example of where classes can shine, because you do have certain jobs doing certain things in certain parts of that fight that they just haven't been doing for 4 raid tiers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's stuns that you need, right? Like that's a revelation in and of itself, right? Like, are you kidding me? I have to stun a thing? Oh man, where's that button?
Stuns?
Right. Where the hell is that button?
I never took it off my bar in the hopes that one day I would use it again.
But it just, I think the thing that I'm most hoping for in the next few live letters is any talk about combat. Like anything at all that isn't just, hey, there might be some adjustments. No, we're not going to talk about them, because that's been the last, since the expansion came out. All we've basically gotten is, oh yeah, we understand Pictomancer's a problem. We're going to fix that. We didn't even get a warning for Black Mage at all.
Well, and Pictomancer even too. 7.0 drop. They're like, yeah, we know it's OP, but like have fun. And we talked about this too. Like they're like, we'll adjust everything else. And it's like, that's not the way you do that. You adjust the one thing that's the issue, not everything else. And then was it 4 months out? Norm, 8 months out? Yeah. They're like, okay, now we're going to adjust it. Also, this one action is a DPS loss. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's all knock-on effects. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind if you like raise certain classes up if you're finding that, hey, this big impact class is actually more fun. It's a better threshold with where current design is or whatever. So we'll raise stuff up. But yeah, the imbalance, I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. New classes always come in really OP and they always have that moment. But
except for Astro.
Except for poor Astro, sorry, buddy. But I agree. I'd like to hear something. Part of me feels like they're going to continue to be tight-lipped about it until the expansion stuff. Yeah. Which is a big thing that we haven't even touched on at all, which is that there was no FanFest announcement.
Announcement, you're right.
I
guess we ended the question there.
Yeah, I think we're good on the question. Let's go back.
I think the question we're done.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
It helped us get to this topic too.
Well, because like theoretically, these kinds of things, right? The design mentality shifts or things or new classes, stuff like that, we would be hearing about in the live letter. So we don't know when that's going to, in the FanFest,
Yeah.
So we don't know yet when that's going to be.
Live letter.
And we don't know how long it might be until we hear anything about these supposed big changes that were hinted at for 8.0's combat. At this point, I think I'm not holding my breath until they actually say something to us, because it feels like even with some of the things leading up to this expansion, even things leading up to Endwalker, where they were like, we're going to be doing these big overhauls, they ended up like not doing that.
We're still waiting for the strategy board.
So until they really show us the vision of this, I'm kind of just existing in, it'll probably sort of be like this, except maybe some things will be stronger, maybe some things will be weaker.
Yeah, who knows?
With
Yeah.
a laugh included.
Yeah, I think for
Yeah.
me, that when Yoshida came out and basically was like, yeah, we know that maybe a lot of you are thinking this isn't great, but please look forward to 8.0. And it's like, sir, you're asking people of a live service game to wait over 2 years. Like that honestly, like that's probably one of the worst and stupidest things he's ever said. Like, you don't ask people to wait over 2 years for something to be better. Like,
Unless
come on.
the thing that you're doing is really good and way
revolutionary.
better.
But then you gotta give us anything.
You have
Script
to
fee,
deliver
yeah.
it. You do. You have to deliver it.
It's
That was a big statement.
it was. You
And
know, and
so-
I don't know what they're gonna do, man.
And so now no FanFest announcements. I mean, we were
Yes.
talking about this with the timing of it,
Yes.
right? Usually summer E3-ish timing, right, is when we hear about FanFest. I think 2 live letters ago they said they were looking at venues. Nothing with the last live letter. So okay, this is the one, right? We're gonna hear about it. We'll see what's going on. Not a word.
Oh, but you know, during our thingamabob, we also surmised that perhaps they just don't have the freaking time. They have so much to do.
I mean, so
Yeah.
so
Maybe.
there's a
Our
few
live react.
possibilities, right? One of them is at this point that 8.0 is a spring expansion. You know, we've talked a lot about how they since the Dawn Tour, the Dawn Trail media tour build, right? It felt like they were behind. Stuff wasn't localized in time for stuff they knew we would be looking at. And stuff is constantly getting pushed back. Strategy board is still in development. Another thing we didn't hear about with this live letter, when I talked to Odagiri-san at PAX West a year ago, he's like, yeah, we are, movement has started on the next UI theme. They take 2 patches to do. Where is it? It probably got delayed, right?
Yeah.
And so they're having a tough time over there at CS3. And so maybe they're like, yeah, maybe we don't need to be planning 3 or now 5 with Korea and China being on the same update table now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, we just feasibly cannot take that time right now. And maybe we get
that's honestly fine.
a digital fan fest.
Yeah, it's
I would
fine.
rather have them working on the game and giving us something that the majority feels is quality than to fight your way into a hot Vegas melt your shoes.
If I had to pick, especially based on the last FanFest, don't do one. Focus on the game. The game needs it right now.
Do a digital one again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Easy decision.
I don't. Honestly, I would rather a FanFest type structure thing to exist, only because it's great in general, right? It's hype, it's good for the community, blah blah blah.
Sure.
There's a lot of good stuff there.
Friends.
Yeah, the thing that I want is to be treated like an adult and talked to, right? Like, could you tell me what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, could you just tell me? Like,
Yeah.
you don't tell me about jobs. You don't tell me about combat. You don't tell me about this. You don't tell me about that. I thought this was the transparent MMO, right? That's why live letters were the first of its kind,
right?
But somehow that has changed, and I don't know if it's because there's stuff going on over there.
Well, and the other problem too.
But that's the thing, we don't know, right?
Yeah, we don't know. And the other problem too is it takes them so long to do anything. It feels like right now.
Sure.
I mean, and we've talked about this before. How with live letters, the community team used to be posting as the live letter was happening on the forums, and now we have to wait a week or more. And it's I'll be curious when we get the digest for this if they include that line about, hey, by the way, we know we promised we were going to be talking about housing, but we need more time. Is that even going to make the cut? Who knows?
Hopefully, yeah.
These kinds of large scale game events, it makes me sad, but they are rarer and rarer. We've seen a lot of gaming conventions close. We've even seen, games like World of Warcraft or Blizzard in general, right? BlizzCon every 2 years now, or whenever they feel like they have enough stuff to kind of put out there and release. Gamescom is next month, but that's one of the few really big ones that still exists in the world, and that's out in Germany. I mean, TennoCon is happening, has been happening for Warframe.
That's true.
ESO does some in-person. They do a lot of kind of like group gatherings at events where they do like cool sets and stuff like that, or they'll invite creators out to do stuff, but they don't have like their own big convention that they host all the time. Now, does that mean that I want to see that vanish in 14? No. Like, even with NA FanFest being something that was really rough around the edges this past time, you know, I don't want to see it vanish, because I think the 14 community is one that loves to come together. And we love to have those moments to actually see people in person, to feel the energy, to get to meet devs who are, for many of us, you know, on the other side of the world, or, you know, away from us. And to feel like we are a part of it. It's so great. And it's a lot of fun. But of course, it does take a lot of time and energy, effort, funds, all that stuff. And so, I mean, yeah, like if this time around it was going to be digital or something like that, I think a lot of people would be understanding, especially if it meant that time could go to the game and they could really focus in on a lot of things they needed to do. Long term, do I want to see it like disappear forever or just purely become digital? I don't know. I think more than anything, I'd like to see them invest in it, and I'd like to see them bring on production teams and stuff like we talked about.
Yeah.
You know, experienced convention runners, and to offload some of that work from their in-house efforts to people that can do this and do it professionally. And then to be like, cool, then we just show up, we do this, and then we are gone, right? We go on, we do our own thing, and continue working on the game. But I think for many of us right now with the game is what we care about, right? Like we care about our communities, we love each other. But I know for myself and many of us, and I think us on the podcast, that like right now we can tell that the game is at a crossroads and they need to push forward. They need to look at innovating. They have so much good groundwork to build on. They have a wonderful like environment, history, like everything, the community, the gameplay. There's a lot of stuff here that is so rich and so good, but there's so much that needs to be delivered, and so many experiences that they have barely begun to scratch the surface on, even daring to approach, let alone modernizing the game, offering a bunch of other new content or innovative ideas, or updates to systems that seriously need it, like housing, right? So for me, I care most about the game. But I agree 100%, like with what you were saying, Al, you know, it doesn't feel good to be constantly left in the dark about things, and or to sometimes have these statements that seem to come out of the blue, that like the wait until 8.0 jobs are going to be good then, and you're like, what? Like, and then they don't elaborate on it for ages, or like whatever it is. I would just like them to say, we know that many of you are probably waiting for FanFest news. We are very much looking forward to what the future of FanFest might hold. We even like, we don't have anything to share with you right now, but look forward to news next year or something, just anything, right? Like
one sentence is all you need.
It doesn't have to pinpoint a date. Just give us something.
It is really disheartening, I guess, to see, because like, you know, a lot of us have been here for a while, right? We remember live letter number 1. And it's like, wow, look at this developer being so transparent about everything.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse over time, right? You know, they stopped talking about job adjustments in live letters. The Black Mage thing, they're just like, oh, hey, look, Black Mage is a little different now. We won't go into all the details, but please look forward to the patch. 8.0, look forward to it. And you have that. And then you also have, you know, and I've talked about this, I won't try and spend too much time on it, but, you know, the communication errors with Korea and China FanFest, where now that they're getting up to speed with us and on the same global release schedule, there was stuff they announced at those FanFests, right? And China and Korea, they're their own servers, right? You have this global game, but these are isolated groups, right? But you're announcing new things. That information did not make it to the global operating server audience. That's a huge issue. Like, they're like, hey, look, here's Fafnir and the 11 raid. The only thing that we got out of that was the 11 social media just kind of casually posting a video about Fafnir, like, oh, hey, look at this. Like, huge error. Like, what are you guys doing? And now, you know, we're talking about FanFest, and maybe they don't want to have it. Maybe they did it with digital. We already talk about how it's kind of rough sometimes. It's like there's 3 FanFests. They can't tell us everything. They need to divvy up the information. And now potentially adding 2 more into that, that's gonna suck. Like there's it's gonna be really, really rough to have that information potentially spread out in a way that makes it feel like each event got something really cool. And so I think, you know, and I've been saying it since the China and Korean Fan Fest, like they need to figure stuff out internally. Like stuff is just not syncing up between all these different versions. You know, we talked about it earlier too. You have the Bog Station was like, hey, here's this new wardrobe. Also no hats, even though we said we were gonna like fix it. The whole company feels like it's not synchronized right now. And so I hope they can figure out like you know, if they're just in a weird mood or like whatever's happening. I hope they can. I hope they
can. Are you in a weird mood right now? Is the vibe?
There's a better word than mood. You know, a weird funk, right? There's something is happening, right, with this company and with CS3.
It definitely feels like the international presence and or offices and everything else are kind of discordant. And I mean, I don't know. I wonder. Will it mean no FanFest? Will it mean that the expansion is going to be delayed?
Later.
Will it mean that we really don't have an idea? I think right now I'm personally leaning towards most likely it means the expansion is going to be delayed.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Probably this is just them being like, hey, a lot of the stuff that we would announce is not ready. So we have to push stuff back. We don't know exactly when we're going to hold it. You know, during our live watch, there was also the point brought up that, I mean, sure, maybe it has something to do with what venues were available. Maybe it has something to do with, right? Because that always plays a role too. Maybe stuff was really booked up for some reason this year.
And certain countries are
having a lot of issues right now with the US.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that any or all of these things are playing a role, and we have no idea. We are not privy to it. And I hope that they touch base with us sometime soon to just kind of communicate, because it's a lot to plan for going to FanFest, right? Whether you're a creator or not, whether or not you think you can save up the funds for it. Yeah, right? Like it's not cheap. The travel itself, everything else, trying to get hotels. So I think a lot of people are also just trying to think about, like, I know for myself, I'm like, what is happening in my future? Like, when am I going to have to be at this place? Is it next year? Is it the end of this year? Is it like, and
be nice to know.
I don't think it's going to be this year for sure, because they would have announced it at this point. Will there be a place to go to? Will it be online? Not sure. And yeah, the idea of FanFest largely being an advertisement of sorts, and announcing grounds for features of the expansion is something that I think they're going to have to try to decide how they want to continue implementing that or not, right? Because if we do have these additional regions and other stuff, and as we kind of experienced the NA Fan Fest, if you have these big fan gatherings, there's a lot of things you can fill them with. It doesn't have to just be game announcements, you know?
Yeah.
And I think there's only so much news you can spread out about an expansion, especially if an expansion doesn't have other things, right? Like, so they might need to shift their approach. Maybe that's what they're thinking about right now, even. Like, can we create these events in other ways that have fun activities that put together all sorts of stuff? Gateway Fate is a great example on more of the fan convention side of, you know, things you can do. But it's run by people who are experienced with Anime St. Louis. So, like, they're kind of pushing those boundaries of more of the, how do we make this a community fan event as opposed to marketing for our next expansion? So maybe that's something they need to look at, or maybe they're just trying to decide right now, if they do them at all. I don't know. Yeah,
we'll have to see. I mean, I can remember, gosh, years ago now, back when Sage Sunday still worked for SC. That's a name. People would be like, who the hell is that? But they were like, yeah, we're looking at maybe going to like events that are already running and doing stuff at those, stuff like PAX, stuff like Gamescom. I almost said E3. Whoops. But they could do stuff like that and do the global digital fan fest. Here's the expansion, and then throughout the year, here's a live letter from PAX. Here's a live letter from Gamescom. They could host, smaller events. I don't know how that, compares with their budget for a big fan fest thing, but like, that Guild Wars 2 thing that I went with you, Rook, to a couple years back, that was the same year as FanFest. Guild Wars 2 was like the cooler event, and like I don't even play that.
I know, I love that
it's so weird. It's so weird. So yeah. No announcement so far. If we don't hear anything by the next live letter, probably there's other issues happening, and hopefully they can find a way to draw out that patch cycle that doesn't make it feel even worse than it normally does before the expansion, because adding a couple more months onto that is going to be rough. So yeah. All right, I think that's it. Before we sign out today, I do have some news. Probably not a huge surprise to a lot of you. I'm going to be taking some time away from the podcast again. I actually had this like whole speech written out, and we ended up just like covering so much of what I had in it. Yeah. So dev team is slow right now. I've been thinking, oh, each patch will get better. It's not. It's going to take time. I was looking forward in this expansion the most to Field Ops and the 11 raid. We saw what happened with Field Ops. I've talked about how I feel about the 11 raid. So yeah, the expansion kind of as a whole is just kind of a big to me. I'm not unsubbing. Like I'll still probably, I'm still gonna play 7.3. I'll still do the MSQ. I might even like it. But like coming onto this show every couple weeks is rough because there's always something new to talk about that is bad. Like, right, whether it's cash shop items being released at a certain way, whether it's things being delayed, like there's always something. And I know that a lot of people are tired of hearing me talk about that stuff, and I'm not going to apologize for calling out things that I'm seeing, right? These are things I've observed. These are issues. Yoshida's even talked a bit like, hey, there's some issues with the game, we're working on it. But it's exhausting for me to come on here episode after episode and just end up turning the episode or each show into like, okay, well, this is how I feel slighted by Square Enix and Yoshida this week, right? It's not fun for anybody. So I'm going to take some time. I'm still at Gamer Escape. Like I'm still going to be like around. But right now I need some breathing room. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to, as Yoshida says, go do something else, right? Go sub, I have to keep my sub because I have a house. We didn't hear if they're changing housing. We didn't get that update. They're having to take more time with it. So, yeah. So I'm just going to step back for a little bit. I'm still around. But yeah, it's exhausting for me. It's exhausting for people to listen to. And so there you go. That's that.
Yeah. So starting the next show, please forgive me.
Zen's in charge. Everybody go. He's gone.
Everybody, the podcast from here on out is a musical. We're really excited.
It's finally happening. This was the
new version of Aetheryte Radio. Nah, Fusion, we're gonna miss you. And you know what? I think that honestly, though, this is modeling what so many people are talking about right now in the community. Yeah. That like, if you get to a point with any game where you're burnt out, you're tired, or you're just like not feeling good playing the game for whatever reason, even if it's life stuff, even whatever it is, right? Then take that time for yourself, reset, like focus in on things that make you happy. Like that's important. And the same goes to everybody here, right? Like there's been a lot of discussion. There are valid critiques and discussion around the game right now. But like never be afraid to like love the things you love and never be afraid to take a break from the things that you love too.
It's hard. It's a hard decision. And I'm sure there's going to be people in the YouTube comments like, oh, saw this coming a mile away. It's not a hard decision to make because it's not.
Don't say that. Oh,
I read the comments.
Don't say that.
I know what people are saying, but like also like the reality, like I do apologize in part that it has taken me this long to get to this point where I can be like, ripping off the Band-Aid or whatever. But like, it's not just like, oh, it's a game that I play and it's like, I don't like it, so I'll play something else. It's, oh, it's a game I play. And also I do this podcast and also I do this thing for this one site. I have so many eggs in this basket, right? It's crazy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So
one video game basket.
There's a lot. I wear a lot of hats. So it's not an easy decision, right? Especially like the patch is out in a couple of weeks. The 16-year anniversary of this podcast is going to happen next month. But it's like I know 7.3 is going to drop. I'll do the MSQ, I'll do the raid, and it'll be like, all right, cool. I'm not going to have anything else to do, right? With the way that the 11 raid has happened, with the way that Field Ops has transpired. Maybe they'll be able to update it sometime in this patch cycle. Maybe we'll get a more easily accessible dungeon in Field Ops. I hope so. But also this is a dev team that is moving really slow right now. So who knows, right? Hopefully at some point they can make this a game that I'm excited to talk about again. But that's not where I am right now. So, so there you go.
Yeah. We'll keep bringing the excitement, everybody, and the discussion and the critique and the things that hopefully we'll continue to see them improve. But yeah, the show's not going anywhere. In Fusion, we will we will obviously not be like, bye Fusion, never talking to you again, only podcast.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
that's another part of it too. Like, I interact with all these people every couple of weeks. Like, I don't have a lot of like social interaction or local people that I hang out with. So like, this is like my social time too, right? In a way. So I'm just gonna have to take some trips out to fight you, I guess, Rook. So
Yeah, Fusion.
the Fusion World Fight Tour. We'll just go one by one. It'll be like that scene in at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Go to Hollywood, where they get the list of people in the forums that made fun of them, and they just show up at their house and beat them up. That's gonna be. That's how I'll be spending my time.
One of the favorite RP arenas and clubs and themes is Fight Club.
True.
So
That's
look,
true.
I'm just bringing that
the
energy.
longest lasting one.
Yeah, we'll have some gentlemen's duels.
Do they still make sock and boppers? I feel like the next time I come visit, I should just jokingly bring a pair of sock and boppers with me.
We could just use those the pointer thingies, the blow up pointer thingies. Those would work.
There we go. Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
We'll have some bonus Patreon content coming. Fusion and I having a showdown.
In this corner.
Between the four of us, we have four of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin them though.
A good cause.
That's. But anyway, that's my spiel. I'll still be around. I'll still be doing stuff. I'll probably be streaming. I want to play a lot of Resident Evil before RE9 comes out. And I'll still be subbed. I'll still be probably commenting about the game on my social. Like I'm not disappearing like I did before the Dawn Trail Media Tour. It's tiring talking about something that you don't like, right? So that's that. Nice segue. If you want to find me for the foreseeable future here, you can find me at Blue Sky at Raffledurg, on Twitch at Raffledurg, and on YouTube Raffledurg with an X at the end. That is me. Done.
I'm a person. And I'm called
Are you
Denisha
sure?
on this podcast. You know what? I'm not really sure right now. Yeah, Zenidra _A on Twitter. I don't really look at Twitter anymore, if I'm being honest with you. Blue Sky is just Zenidra because I got there fast and furious. Twitch, my personal channel is Strawberry Bap because I like strawberries, and Bop is my nickname from when I was like 5. Bet you didn't know that.
So cute. I didn't know that.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
It's from my dad because he used to play music for me and I'd dance around. He called me Bebopper. So Bop.
It's so adorable.
Isn't that really freaky?
I wasn't expecting the deep Zenidra lore here today.
Right?
Yeah, that's where that's from, in case you're ever wondering. Also, I like strawberries. Ta-da! That's the name. Every day I get closer and closer to streaming Marvel Rivals on that channel, so keep an eye out.
Just do it.
I've been getting so many ads shoved into my like social feeds for like Jeff the Land Shark stuff.
I'm sorry.
I still need to play it. Maybe when I actually have some time in September, I'll finally log in and then I'll be doomed forever.
I will play with you. It'll be
all right.
awesome.
Bring it on. I fell for Overwatch once. Marvel Rivals can suck me into its abyss. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So that's the thing we're doing now is playing Marvel Rivals. Maybe I'll do it on Strawberry Bop. Bam.
There you go.
We also do D&D stuff on that one thing that I always say the name of the same way. What is it called?
You're tired, yeah? Exhausted.
I'm really
That is so out of it right now.
I slept for 2 hours before doing this, you guys.
Oh, no.
My neighbor totally reasonably cut their grass at 9:30 this morning. That's a reasonable time to cut your grass. However,
for those who are nocturnal.
Zen's in the chat like, can we hurry this up? Also, I need to tell you about my neighbor and how they mow the lawn.
I'm trying. I'm stalling, trying to remember the name of the thing that I do.
Plus one shot.
I could just take
plus the word, one the number, shot the word.
Jeez.
It's like it's Pavlovian at this point.
It really is.
No.
That's how tired I am. Like that's the thing that comes out of my mouth every 2 weeks.
What's the word? One the number, shot the word.
Yeah, it's done. That's it. Thank you so much for having my back, everybody. Charles, it's your turn.
Hi, hello. I am Aldino here and on Blue Sky. I said I would post there. I might still after this next couple of months of hell from work, but it'll be fun hell. We'll see. Yeah, I am here. I am on plus the word, one the number, shot the word. Most of the games are on hiatus right now. We still do our talk show. I think the next one we're probably going to talk about a big grab bag of topics from Daggerheart to what's happening in Draw Steel to what's going on in D&D, because there's some new classes or subclasses that they put out that are very interesting.
They're desperate.
So yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm finally seeing a necromancer after so long.
There wasn't a necromancer before?
No, there was not. There kind of was, but not really. No. Yes, and there was one previous that was the horror subclasses that didn't have wizard necromancer, but now they've put it in. So I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know how to feel. I figured there was one this whole
you would imagine,
time.
right?
Huh.
Right, you would imagine.
Damn.
But no. But yeah, that is it for me. How about you, Rook?
Yeah, hi, I'm Rook. You can find me on Rookery. That's ROOKURI. I stream on Twitch, usually towards the later portion of the week. So Wednesday through Saturday is up for grabs typically, but we get in some other special events. We've been doing some PNG Tuber Final Fantasy XIV Raid Night streams with our very delightful, very funny, casual Static. We are so close to World Last M6S. And we had a 2% in Rage. We are finally all back.
Hell yeah,
there.
you got this. Next
We're
time.
very excited. It's a lot of fun. So come say hey sometime. I've been streaming a lot of MMORPGs. I've been doing a little bit of variety. We've even been doing my first ever game by, oh my gosh, now I'm the one that's going to forget a word. The studio that does Persona.
Metaphor. She's been playing Metaphor, everybody.
I was playing Metaphor Refantasio. But it's my first
Atlas,
time. Atlas. It's my first time playing an Atlas game. So that's been really fun.
It's a great one to choose as the first one for sure.
It's great.
I
Yeah.
like it. It's great. And there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up next month. I will not be here for some of it.
For reasons.
For reasons. So keep an eye out as I can. I will announce that. You'll be able to find me elsewhere on the internet. But if I'm not streaming on my own channel, you can also catch videos of mine on YouTube, which is at Rookery. You can find me on Twitter at Rookery_. And you can find me around the internet casting and hosting a variety of esports, typically in MMORPGs and special events. So keep an eye out, like I said, because big things are happening in September.
I almost thought I heard for Raisins, and I'm like, do you have a brand deal for Raisins now? Like, what?
I do also have a brand deal for Raisins as well.
Congratulations.
That's so
That's so
cool.
good for you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I mean, they are healthy for you as well. Yeah. So
Good for you.
I don't have the copy in front of me right now, but they are good.
Some might even say the best. If you want, you can get in contact with us here at the show. Email aetheryradiogamerscape.com. On all the socials at Aetheryte Radio, also as Gamerscape on X, Blue Sky, Facebook. There's 2 purple icons. Why would you do this? Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. We will have that spoiler channel up for 7.3 on the Discord when it goes up. So if you get done and you just need to talk to somebody about, not saying it's Necron, but probably Necron. We'll have that option for you. So, and again, thank you to our patrons. Again, reminder to first of the month, we're going to be doing those.
You're the coolest.
We're going to be doing those Ask Aetheryte Radio posts on Patreon. So if you have questions for us, throw them up on there. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.